On the Aslandy Show.
With us today, we've got Batshitsane, streamer extraordinaire. Just upped her gear.
Yep.
Looking beautiful.
I
And here to chat. Kaipo, calling me a shitter. What's up, dude? Crack a beer for the cheers. Thanks. I need a new beer, Kaipo. Appreciate that. Yeah, cheers.
Yeah,
Anyway,
all right.
it's fun. We're back. I had to do my little effect. So, oh, here's this balls guy. Yes, we love balls here. Hey, welcome. Batshitsane to the Aslandy Show.
Yeah.
It is my pleasure to have you.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
So let's just get a quick introduction. What, where are you from? How old are you? What's your favorite stuff? 5 favorite things.
5 favorite things. Okay, well, starting off, name Michelle, from California. Little big town, you know. 5 favorite things: music, nature. Let's see.
Thank you, Kaipo.
Conversations into spirituality. That's a thing.
That's
I
cool.
guess- yeah, you know, the kind of discovery of self.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Yeah, I'm into getting my shit together too. Suck at it, but that's a thing that, you know, I aspire to do. And yeah, that's what I could think of off the top of my head.
Great. Right on the spot. You just came up with that.
I know. I'm proud.
And I'm Aslandy's. And my
Okay.
favorite things are, I like music. That's the thing I do. I'm a music man. So probably first is family, friends, then music, then soccer,
Okay.
then faith, and then probably honesty or truth, telling the truth, something like that.
Yeah, truth.
Hey, Milo says, Aslandy's has changed my life for the better. Thanks, buddy. That's a nice
Aw.
compliment. Oh, so it's Klein says that. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
That's sweet.
And Milo says, balls for getting shit together. If you jump in my stream, you can just watch chat too, while and respond
yeah,
the same.
Actually, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
Here, yeah, I just
So you see me. I have a Magikarp.
Yes, I see you.
And that flag is a Cascadia flag, if you know what that is.
I do.
And then I got the Sounders jersey. Kind of goes with the flag,
Okay.
It's our region. It's our
Your
soccer.
region. Soccer. I played soccer.
Oh,
I don't watch it.
no.
No. I actually don't really watch. I haven't really watched anything lately. Just been kind of addicted to Discord and ukulele.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have a ukulele. I play it all the time.
Okay, fuck yeah. It's I'm not that great at it. I'm sure you're probably a lot better than me. I've only been playing for about a year.
This thing is from Japan.
Oh.
From I think 1930 something. It's a good one.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's so old that
Hello.
the tuning pegs are like, you have to use a screwdriver to tune the like I have it sitting right here. I have a screwdriver just sitting on the desk in case I need to tune the ukulele.
Nice. There you go. Hopefully it stays in tune, at least long enough. All right.
Dude, awesome. No, this is great. So tell me about the different places you've lived then.
Yeah, I think the first place I ever moved to was Montreal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was 18. I met this dude online. I was just hanging out with one of my friends at the time, and she would go on like Soul Seek a lot, and she just had her Soul Seek homies, and we were drunk, and um, she would just started voice chatting and webcamming on Soul Seek, and then there was this one dude. Um, 18-year-old me is like, he's hot. Uh, and then, he thought the same thing, 28-year-old him. And so, yeah, we kind of talked. We did a long distance thing for like a good minute, and then I decided to move to Montreal. But, oh man, it's crazy because right before I leave, I'm having a going away camping trip with my friends, and this is before like weed was really like legal on a recreational level, or just yeah, and so we're packing up the night before. My friend has a broken taillight. Sheriff pulls him over, searches everybody, and I had like a hit of hash on me. So, it was a misdemeanor, but motherfucker arrested me, took me to jail, and charged me with a felony. And, when I saw that, I was like, well, fuck, Canada doesn't even let you in if you have, like, a DUI.
Mm-hmm.
So I fled the country. um,
Okay.
I just, yeah, 18-year-old me wasn't very smart. I ended up coming back, and when I did and went to my court date, I mean, they still dropped it down to a misdemeanor. But they're like, the court system is like, if you just came to your first court date, you would have been fine. Like, you would have had to write a little essay, and then you're good. But because I didn't, I was on like probation for like 2 years. Yep.
Probation for 2 years. That's pretty harsh. That must have been Kamala Harris times.
It was not. It was not easy, especially for like I think 19-year-old me, or almost 20-year-old me. I was obviously a fucking idiot, and so I kept smoking weed, and I ended up testing dirty, and like a couple times, and they almost sent me to jail. And I asked my public defender, I was like, hey, is there just like anything else I can do? Like, I'm an idiot. I'm going to keep fucking up. Can you just send me to jail for a couple months or something? I don't know. And, and he was like, well, there is this like non-supervised probation that's totally free. Because I was paying thousands of dollars to just be on probation, formal probation. And he's like, well, you can't be on uninformal probation, but it's just going to be like maybe 6 months longer. And it's non-supervised, so they don't test you. You just basically don't get pulled over, or don't, And I'm like, why was this not the first option?
Yeah, right. You could have been done already.
Yeah.
That's how they get you in the system, man. That's how they get you. People just keep paying them.
Yeah, it's fucked up. They make deals with like the defense, so it's they go to lunch together, and they're like, yeah, we'll do this. So it was, thank God I asked eventually.
I know, right?
Because if I didn't, who knows where I would have been by now.
Man, I had a similar story, but I was 17, so I was super lucky because I wasn't an adult. So I just had to do a rehab program, which
shit.
I failed.
Oh.
But then I I got really lucky, and they just decided to send me to a therapist instead of trying the rehab. Because they looked at me and they're like, this guy's not going to stop smoking weed.
Yeah.
They just like send him to a therapist. And it was in the only way it worked, I kind of finagled it a little bit. Because the only reason it worked is because this therapist guy worked in the same building as the place that the drug and alcohol treatment was. So on paper, it was like the right place.
Okay, so it's still in the same...
I like kind of slightly worked the system there. Milo, I'm not going to kiss you. You're too far away. Hey, I should have done this before we started. But
What?
do you just talk to chat for a sec? Because I got to take a whiz bang.
Yeah, dude, do your thing.
You just hang out.
Yeah.
They have a lot of questions. I don't know if you're reading all this.
I get like... See, this is why I'm a bad streamer, because I just get too caught up in shit. And then forget. But you know what? Now...
I will be right back.
Okie dokie. How do I get to this freaking... this chat? There we go. Haha. Whiz bang. What's up, fuckers? It's me. I didn't know I can't. Here you are, chat. See, I'm like, look at me. Don't worry, I'm also bad at a bad streamer. Okay, thanks for empathizing. I've definitely gotten shit for it many times, and one day I'll learn. I don't even use like Streamlabs. I use like Twitch Studio Beta. So that's like, it makes it a little bit more difficult. Whiz bang, you're no kizzy. You're hot as fuck, no kizzy. Whiz bang balls dub these. Thank you. Cleaned. I try. Let me tell you what. I was not a looker from elementary school up until like maybe 10th grade. Oof. And then one day just did everything worked out. How do you know this Aslandes? Well, he saw my stream and hit me up on Instagram and was like, hey, I saw your stream. Want to be in my podcast? And I said, you're damn Skippy.
Okay, I'm back.
Heyo.
This beer makes me pee like crazy. I don't know what it is.
It does the same thing. For me, once you break the seal, you're fucked.
It's true.
You...
Were my people nice to you?
Yeah, they were.
Okay, good.
They were.
Okay. I say my people. I don't know who these fucking people are. Don't associate me with them. No, I'm kidding.
Can you say out loud, Max Tolan is cute?
Oh, what is his deal? I thank God Kaipo's here. Dude, guys. I told you this last time you guys were here. I like having you a lot, but make sure you just don't make anyone's life harder. It's that simple. I think it's a good rule of thumb just to live by. Just try not to make other people's life harder than it already is.
Right. It's I mean, that's kind of, a little common courtesy. That's the goal for me is, don't
I'm not
dick.
I'm not gonna read out anything like that. See that word? We allow the R word here. I don't know if that's gonna get me banned, but I don't think that's a bad word.
Oh no, I mean, honestly,
I used it all through childhood. That was like the word, and it used to be a medical word.
Yeah.
So was all the other words that we call each other. It's just so silly to pick one out of the lot and be like, make a special rule about it.
Well, people are so sensitive, I feel like, especially nowadays. I mean, early.
But why
2000s.
is that no one ever succeeded by, lowering everybody down to the lowest common denominator. Like, I don't get, like, if some people are sensitive, why does that mean that has to change everyone else's life?
Oh,
Can they just, like, deal with it or figure out how to? Because I'm not asking for anything from these people. You know what I mean?
Right?
I don't know.
I mean, I definitely feel you on that. It's definitely gotten a lot worse over the years, and like I just do my thing, and if you're offended, I know that I'm not. I know who I am, and what I'm saying is not
Right.
fucked up or anything. So you can
But I
get
know what I
over it,
believe.
pretty much.
You know,
Yeah.
like I know what's in my heart, and I know that I'm not a hateful person. Just like from knowing myself, that self work and that individuation, and like incorporating different aspects of my shadow and my unconscious, right? Slowly,
Yeah.
I know where I'm coming from. So like I don't know. I just feel like I don't owe anyone like proof. I don't owe anyone
No.
anything in that way. You know what I mean? But there's this kind of vibe where it's like, say this set of buzzwords to prove, you know, or like add
Well.
this to your Twitter where it's like I'm supposed to add like he, him, or whatever, like that kind of stuff.
Oh
Where it's like
yeah.
add this or put a picture of all black picture on Instagram or do this thing like whatever it
I
is.
was. They're all trends, though. That's the thing. People get caught up in like these trends, and they don't even honestly feel like truly believe, and like everything they're being so sensitive about. But it's just they get, they jump on the bandwagon to make themselves feel more included or special, or to kind of make things about them, um, which to me, I'm just like that's a them problem, and I try not to get caught up in any of that, um, but I feel like that's just how people are going to be, and there's nothing I can really do to kind of try to
Yeah,
change that. The best I can do is just not let it get to me and remain true to myself, um, which can be hard sometimes. Like, I'm not like the most confident person, and I do let the opinions of others like kind of affect, um
sure.
yeah, my emotions, not all the time. um
Yeah, one sec. Kaipo, instead of arguing with him, if anything is a problem, just time him out, but for like, 20 seconds or whatever.
oh
That's it.
okay, sorry.
We, every once in a while people get a little manic in the chat. I understand it. It's fun. We're all here to have a good time.
Yeah, yeah, we're all chilling. I as long as, for me, I mean, there's been times, um that, like, somebody's like, where do you live, and I don't tell them exactly, or even, sometimes you just get a feeling. And then, yeah, there's this one guy who was just like, I didn't tell him anything, and he, at some point he's like, do you live in Sacramento, do you live in, like, just naming off places in California, and I may have that accent, but I'm like, okay, first off, you're creeping me out, how do you know it's California?
I mean, I called it.
um,
I knew too.
Yeah, I'm sure I have, I don't know what a California
I told you I used to live in Ojai. You know where that is?
Yeah, I've been to
It's
Ojai.
close
I've
to
gone camping.
Lompoc. I mean, you should know where it is. It's pretty close.
Yeah, it's like a couple hours.
It's like east of Ventura.
East
in-
of Ventura.
So you go down to
Yeah.
Ventura, and there's this highway that goes through the mountains. It goes to
Ooh.
Oak something, Miners Oaks.
Thousand Oaks? Oh no.
Yeah, Thousands Oaks. No, there's a lot of oaks. There's Miners Oaks, but there's also something else's oaks, and then there's Ojai, which is this little valley in the mountains. It's
Okay.
pretty cool. I also lived in LA, Joshua Tree, Santa
Oh, you
Cruz.
cut off for me for some reason. Is my sound
Oh.
being all weird?
Am I back?
Oh. Okay, yeah, you're back.
Yeah, I lived in Santa Cruz, Joshua Tree, LA, San Francisco, Oakland.
Nice. I really
All
like
the-
San Francisco, Oakland area, a lot.
Milo says I should marry you. Look, we just met, Milo. Yeah.
So you're in California now, or
No, I
you're
live in Seattle now. That's where I'm from.
Seattle now. Okay.
I moved back home.
Why's that?
I don't know. I had a good long run. I ended up moving back there with a girlfriend I had at the time. And now I'm And then I moved to Portland for 3 years. Checked that out.
Okay.
And then I came back here. I don't know. I was getting old. I want to spend some time with my family and stuff before they all die. My uncle
Yeah.
and my grandma both died last year, so it's like I came back because they were getting sick and stuff, and then I'm sticking around for the next few because there's another. Most of my family is old or young.
Oh.
I either have young. I have a lot of young like cousins and stuff, and then older. There's like a big gap for some reason. I mean, there's a few people in
Okay.
there, but just anyway, that's why
Yeah.
for family.
Yeah, for family. That's a good reason why. I mean, every time I've moved back, it's because, I end up, like, not, fucking up where I live and having to come back for, like, financial reasons or, when I lived in Seattle, the reason why I had to come back, oh my god, makes me sad.
What did you think of Seattle?
I fucking loved it so much. It was honestly one of my favorite places to live just because I love nature so much.
Yeah.
The mentality and the vibe of like people there, like I made friends so easily. Everybody's just down to earth. Like some of the closest best friends I've ever had, I've made there. It really did feel like home to me. Yeah, it's the reason why I had to leave was just I broke my elbow.
No.
Piggyback riding.
Oh, that's supposed to be someone else doing the work.
Oh.
Why were you gonna break?
Oh man, it was fucked because, I was hanging out with my friend, and he lives in Issaquah, and so we were chilling in Seattle, and then I was like, well, we'll go back to your house in Issaquah and take the bus back there, and I was, wearing
The bus. So let's see, 3 hours later.
Yep. God, the transportation system there, though, it's awful.
Oh no, they're building a train now. There's a train.
Yeah, the light rail.
Yeah, it actually exists. Like you can get on it and it goes somewhere, and you can get off somewhere else.
Right? It's when I lived there, it was they're still like they just started building it, so it didn't go very far.
The problem with Seattle is that none of the most of the places that they're inevitably going to end up building a stop, when you get off of it, it's not going to be somewhere that's useful to be. You know what I mean? Like Seattle doesn't have, it's not like San Francisco where there's a ton of useful shit to go to. Like here, there's like a few, there's like downtown, the U District, and like Capitol Hill. And then everything else is going to be some weird neighborhood. Maybe the Ballard one, but everything else is like some weird place in Linwood or fucking Bothell or, whatever. You're just like, cool, so now I'm in Bothell.
Yeah, no, it was, it sucked. I mean, I didn't live in Seattle.
Oh, yeah, where was it? Where did you live?
I mean, I lived in, at one point, Federal Way. And then I moved to Kent.
Oh wow! So you were
yeah.
south. You were South Seattle girl.
Yeah. I was.
So you met like a lot of more, let's say, urban folk.
Yes.
That's my world. I know that world very well. I do.
Okay.
I sing with some different like rappers and stuff. Sometimes and make beats and hang out with that kind of crowd, and then they're usually down that direction,
Yeah, I hung out with, like when I lived there, just I mean the people that I moved in with were like very hippie, which
there's a lot
I'm
of hippie
into.
to hippies, laid back.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely like right up my vibe, and like one of my roommates when I first moved there, because the way that I moved there. I didn't really know anyone there. I just fucking met this guy on a Facebook fucking page thing, whatever. And I mean, I didn't even really like him that way, but we were talking for a while, and we like webcam, and I got to meet his other roommates. He's like, "Hey, we're having a room open in here. do you want to move here? Because I would just complain about, living with my parents and blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah. And so I was like, fuck yeah, and I didn't even really know. What I did, I mean, it's probably not that smart. But.
Uh-oh, someone did something nice. Hey, a raid. Party of 4 from Pineapple Pandas. Thank you very much,
Hello.
Pineapple Pandas. Thanks so much. Welcome, guys.
Yeah.
Weird Wednesday. Aslandy's show, my guest is Batshitsane. Very interesting young lady. Here to
That's right.
explain her life story, her views on the cosmos, spirituality, and the existence of the perfect pizza.
Oh. There's pineapple, I'm sorry.
I like pineapple on my pizza.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I'm a pineapple. My favorite pizza is like normal red sauce with cheese, right? Then pineapple, Canadian bacon, and jalapenos.
Oh, that's a good.
That's a good right there. Yeah.
Yes.
The jalapenos gives it the spice. The normal Hawaiian is just kind of not quite adventurous enough for me.
It's not.
It doesn't
I like
have
that
enough.
sweet spice.
Yep. You could put something else other than the jalapeno, like I don't know what, something else, and it might do it similar. Like a peppercini.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, a peppercini. But
Mhm.
they're not really spicy. They're more like, I feel like vinegary.
They make up for that, though, with how fun it is to say the word.
Peppercini.
Peppercini. I'm not good at my Italian accent, but I think I can nail that one. That word. I just feel like it just comes off.
Said.
Oh, thank you, Kaipo. Did it work? It didn't work. We're still getting that set up, Pineapple. Sorry, buddy. Everyone go give Pineapple Pandas a big fat follow.
Hell
Thank you so much for the raid.
yeah. Yeah, that's sweet. That's sweet.
So I did music. That's what I was doing when I lived in California. And I played in some bigger venues and in front of lots of people and made a good amount of money and had a pretty fun time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh no, go on.
Well, I just sort of messed it all up.
Oh, how was that?
I moved back to Seattle.
Oh, but you can't do music
Oh, I do
in
it.
Seattle?
I do it.
Okay.
I have a lot of fun. I never stopped.
Okay. Was it?
I still play on
Nice.
every Monday. I mean, up until this whole COVID thing, I was still playing like shows and stuff
Yeah.
and doing little tours and recording. I mean, now I'm doing
Nice.
one recording project. I had a couple of recording projects that got canceled because of the whole thing. But
That's-
it brought me to
Yeah.
Twitch. I would not be here talking to you right now if COVID hadn't happened.
Oh, really?
Oh no, yeah, I never would have gone to Twitch. I don't think.
Oh, okay. Honestly, same. But I started a Twitch because of COVID. I had nothing really to do, and I started off as just streaming on my PlayStation, playing Red Dead. And
Oh, you play Red Dead.
Yeah.
Have you played
Yeah.
the new online thing they got?
Red Dead Online?
Yeah.
Or just... Yeah, I haven't played it recently.
I guess it got updated or so. I haven't seen it since it changed, but I saw something happened with it. Because I remember the old one, you had to play for 3 hours before you could go get with to meet a friend.
Oh, yeah.
It was forever. I did it. It took forever. It was hours. You gotta go get the
Yeah.
thing, and then you gotta go to the train, and then after the train you go down to the other thing, and then after that you gotta, you know what I mean? It just kept going.
Yeah, no, okay, so maybe I started after that.
Oh,
They
okay.
just made me
Because
get
that
a
was back in
horse.
the day when Red Dead 2 came out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It made it unplayable, basically. You could never ask your friend. You could never ask anyone to do that.
Oh, start playing.
to get to the
together.
multiplayer.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I mean, I think they had you do a short mission and then get
Call it short.
a horse. Yeah, it wasn't too long, but
Thank you, Kaipo. Nice.
Oh.
He added this. So if I do S Oh, you have to do an ad? Okay, cool. Now I know. Anyway, continue. So you're a video gamer.
Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy gaming. I usually just kind of stick to like maybe like MMOs,
Okay.
or like RPG, like first person shooter kind of, like
Sure.
Borderlands 3.
Borderlands was cool. I played like 1 and 2
Yeah,
back in the day on
I,
360, on Xbox 360.
nice. That's I think I played the first one, on Xbox with one of my friends. And then, it's just really good. I like it a lot. And I'm super into Mass Effect as well.
Of course I have FIFA 21 Klein.
You're making me want to smoke.
Oh yeah, I got a little spliffer.
Nice.
It's what I call a jazz cigarette.
Jazz? Ooh.
It's just it's a lubricant, It's just like the beer. Good thing I have someone redeemed. I have to do 10 push-ups and 10 sit-ups, but I'll do that later.
Oh. So what's this all about?
That's makes me exercise, so I don't get too much of a beer belly.
Oh, yeah, I don't even think that's why I kind of stick to the spirits, because
Oh yeah.
they
calories.
definitely yeah, I was drinking beer for a good minute, and I'm like, what's going on with my stomach?
Dude, I've noticed you have a lot of different sort of looks. Like, I'll come into your stream and you've got red hair, or like not red hair.
I wear
You have wigs and stuff.
I wear wigs. Yeah,
so I don't think. Oh no, I shouldn't say I've never worn a wig. I think when I was a kid, I will put on like a Halloween wig a couple times of different, like. But in general, I don't think I've ever worn a wig.
They're fun. I mean, I mainly started wearing wigs because, like, my hair was, just kind of pulled a Britney one day and was
Okay.
just like,
I like her.
Yeah, no, me too.
I have so much respect for her now for some reason. I like totally
Yeah.
I was a totally sold her short or like wrote her off, when I was a teenager when her songs were coming out. Of just like, what is this
Same.
trash? But now, honestly, like, I feel really sorry for her.
Me too. Me fucking too, dude. Yeah, free Britney. Oof. That conservatorship is really fucked up.
Yeah, and whatever her, like, that business relationship is totally, like, I mean, who am I? But that just seems like something she should be able to do at court.
Oh, yeah, no,
process.
Definitely. But it's just, I think it's all just like a money-making thing. Like, she's worked for, like, her entire life for so long, didn't really have much of a day off, and I can understand why you would kind of go, I mean, I don't know the full story, but I can understand why she, like, did what she did and kind of went a little crazy at some point. But the media definitely loves to just make more of a show out of it than what's really going on. Like, you don't really know what's going on a personal level with
There's
this
a lot of
person.
fucked up stuff going on. That's one thing people got to know. Like, just from my time in LA and the people I know who live there, and they're in those worlds, acting, music, voice acting.
I mean, I was in the comedy scene for a little bit, and people are fucked up.
One thing though that's so crazy about the last 2 years of the Me Too thing, was the random people who got canceled who didn't really, in my opinion, do anything wrong. Like, there was Aziz Ansari who had a bad date.
Oh yeah.
And then there was Louis C.K. who just, like, he asked if he could masturbate in front of some people and started doing it, which is honestly really funny, I think, personally. Like, that is hilarious.
It's hilarious.
If someone did that, there's no way I would want to cancel them. That's just too next level. And then it's not sexual assault, I don't think, because you can just leave the room. You can, or one of the people with Louis C.K. was someone on the phone. Like, you can hang up. Why are you gonna?
Yeah.
I just don't get why you would. That's maybe someone could talk about. It's like where they use like stuff like that to get social credit,
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
even
And
if it's like unjust, kind of.
even like if what he did, like, I mean, I I'm not gonna say it was okay or that it wasn't, but the thing is like after he, it came out, it wasn't like he was just super defensive, just deny,
Mm-hmm.
deny, deny. Like he was actually like, yeah, I did that, I fucked up, I like, I can't make any excuses. I was young. I was like, and like he actually owned up to it. And for me, I feel like that's kind of really rare to see when like, celebrities kind of get have these
Yeah.
accusations shot at them or for, something they did in the past and
It's also
like
kind of cheapens it though a little bit, because the Me Too to me is about taking down people who abuse power to sexually like
oh yeah.
you know, what do you call it, like um essentially rape, right? I mean, like it's kind of borderline rape because it's transactional. It's
Yeah.
somewhere between rape and prostitution. And it's actually really hard to nail down where that is, because I think there are going to be cases where women know what they're getting, in
Yeah.
return. Like they're getting that role, they're getting that something. So it's like,
And
I don't know. I'm definitely not excusing it, but there is something to look into there as far as whatever that transactional nature is.
is yeah, it's a little hard. But the thing
It's
is
definitely
like
wrong. Like
it is
I'm
very
all the way
wrong.
foot down that it's wrong, but I'm just so curious of a person of my, like the way my mind works. I'm not
I'm
satisfied with just it's wrong. I need
it's
more analysis than that.
I mean, situationally, it's these people are, I guess, I mean, I feel like they know that they're getting something out of it and they're putting themselves in these situations. And, sometimes they may care, they may not, or other times they feel pressured into it, maybe
Sure.
like,
Well, there was
um,
one comedian that had a
g-
great joke about it. That was, if it was a guy, no one would care. But it was like the
yeah,
gist of the joke, where it's like if we found out that some famous actor that we all know and love, to get his first role, had sex with some woman exec at a, everyone would be like, hats off to you. Like everyone would be like, good job, dude. You know what I mean? So there
I
is a
mean,
weird different. We definitely have a different relationship with the two sexes as
with
far
the
as
two, yes.
how
And
we
like,
even think
and
conceptualize this stuff, I think.
and women, I mean, it's like we do have it hard, but then also at the same time there are things that we can get away with a lot easier, and when it comes to like sexual harassment, that's one of the things, like guys kind
Also,
of,
domestic violence
yeah,
is far
like
more permissible when it's a woman doing it.
it really is. It's and like so we do have, or that our gender does have that weird kind of shitty out, you know, and so it really goes both ways. I feel like, but it is it is shitty that a woman you know fully takes advantage of a man um, and you get away with it easier because either
Right.
if
Yeah, I
if a
guess
man
that's actually an interesting thing. I've never thought about this. So say a woman who wants to be an actress meets a big level exec at like a club, right? And she intentionally like develops a relationship with him, like a sexual one, in order to advance her career. That would still maybe be looked upon as if the guy was abusing the girl, even if she was the one who,
breaking
you know what I
up
mean,
a
who was
little
like,
bit for some reason. It might
did I
be.
cut out again? Are we good? Am I back? Come on. What's wrong with it? How about now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, baby? Everyone else can hear me. Let me go into Discord real quick. Can you hear me? Don't mute me. Oops. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Oh no.
Oh, okay, there we go. Sorry.
Can you hear
this
me now?
internet is like shitting out on me for some reason.
It's okay. I can get you back here.
All right, whoops a daisy.
I can get you back here. No problem.
Whoops. Usually this isn't an issue.
I'm a master at this. So, oh, it moved it. Oh, that's great. I love that. See, every time Discord loads the thing, it changes the, like, where the shit is. There you are. There you are.
Yay, I'm back.
I have to line it up again. There we go. Ha! No problemo. Well, I was just saying, yeah, like, if a woman went out of her way, you know, to develop a relationship with someone who was in a place of power, I wonder if that would still
Yeah.
be looked at as if he was abusing his power. Even if he was just chilling. You know, like, he never would have... He was literally just chilling out. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's an element of
It's-
that, I think.
there definitely is. I totally agree. It's I mean, even, you know, if another man gets taken advantage of sexually by a woman, like, you know, it's either like, you know, oh dude, like, really, you didn't want it, like, it's not that, it's kind of like a demasculating thing.
Right. Oh, totally.
If you
Well, and it's also true that it is true that most men wouldn't usually turn it down unless they were actually, like, not attracted to the person.
yeah,
Like, all the way
yeah.
not attracted. But I think that's the same for women. I don't see how that would be different. Unless there is some, like, we're talking about a transactional nature to it, where it's, like, for a reason.
I mean, even
Otherwise,
there's
most
been-
people don't want to do sex with people who they're not attracted to. I think that's
right.
pretty safe
I
to
mean,
say.
I've known like really hot chicks, you know, that just kind of think that they can get like any guy that they want. And so if they're like, you know, super into a dude and they're just all over him, just very like not even very considerate, just kind of like I'm hot, I can do what I want to this person. And they're obviously very uncomfortable. And there's been a lot of cases where they're like, hey, I'm not into this. And then the you know, these women get like really offended and they get pissed off. And then they kind of like become like aggressive, verbally or physically, or, you know, kind of turn it around on them. So it's, I mean, I've seen that just, you know, even outside of Hollywood. But
I mean, like, yeah, I've had my ass gouged by older women and stuff.
yeah,
And
it's
at like a bar, like walking by their table, and they just like grab it.
Yeah, it's you know, and it's
But
like,
again, it's not the kind of thing like a guy is typically never going to what do you call that? Come on, like get aggressive about like with a woman in public. So they kind of do have a carte blanche, like they have a free reign.
yeah, they can just get away with that, and they know it. Like most guys wouldn't even say anything, and like if that were just to happen to me, like I know I'd feel like pretty violated. Like they wouldn't feel good at all. But the thing is like women are like, you know, I can do this because A, I'm a woman, and they, you know, it's a guy. They're
Yeah.
probably cool with it.
Although to be fair too, it's also more often in my life, more times it's been men doing something inappropriate than women.
Yeah, I mean,
Like I've been grabbed by men too.
oh,
I used to have really long hair. Oh, in LA one time I went to this right after right after Prince died. There was this like Prince memorial dance party at a club in LA that I went to that my friends were doing they were like the DJs. And this guy, I was dancing to Prince and I had really long hair at the time. I think it was probably in a ponytail. I don't know. And this guy like grabbed me and he came up close and he said, if you wear your hair long like a woman, that means you want to get with men.
Oh,
And he started to wanted to
no.
dance with me, and I just turned to him and I said, dude, I'm just here to dance because I love Prince. And this like it was like that kind of thing where it's just like, so it's like I get it, like, and the thing that tips the scales, because I'm a Libra, you know, born in October, last day of Libra. The thing that tips the scales, you know, for me is it's true that like men are more physically, on average, obviously, physically imposing, on, you know, towards women than the other way around, as far as like size and strength. So there definitely is. I think I'm kind of a traditionalist a little bit. Like, I like the idea of a society where we protect women and children, specifically because they are less able to protect themselves physically.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's really traditionalist, but you know, like last century, whatever. Martin Luther King era, humanist. I'm like a humanist, I guess you'd say.
Okay. Yeah. No, I respect that. I am.
Respect all people
Yeah, definitely.
until they do
All
something
people.
that you have a reason
Yeah.
to be mad
don't-
about.
Right. I don't really kind of dislike people right off the bat. Unless, you know, sometimes you can just tell with someone right away. And even then, I've always kept simple.
Usually it's because they hate me already.
Well, I mean, what do you mean by that?
Sometimes, like, especially when I lived in Portland, I would meet people who are just like already
Portland.
off the get-go. I think part of it is because I'm white and a man, so that's just like, and I know that sounds like super cliche, but it's kind of true there. Like, you all automatically are like just sort of given, like, kind of pushed aside, kind of. It's weird. It's almost like being a marginalized class. It's really weird. But it's like, I should be careful about how I say that. You know what I mean?
Nah, I mean, you're fine. I mean,
I never
I
actually felt victimized, but it is odd the way that the dynamic is.
It is. And I mean, honestly, Portland, I honestly, I didn't really like Portland very much. Just the people, I really love Seattle in that area, but when I've been to Portland, just it's a lot of like really stuck up, like hipsters. Sorry, Portland.
There's some nice people there. You know, I've got some friends there, but yeah.
There is, but
Well, it's very
just,
insulated. It's very insular.
For me, like when someone kind of dresses different, I kind of view it as like they're pretty easily approachable, which I shouldn't always. But that's kind of what the thing is for me. Is like, I mean, I don't dress this way because like I want people to approach me. It's more of a self-expression thing, but it does make people feel more comfortable to approach me.
Because it's like you're already revealing something about yourself
Yeah.
as they're coming.
Yeah, definitely. So it's, it helps a lot. And I'm, I'm kind of just very friendly, and, I'll go up to people sometimes, and, I did a lot in Seattle and people were super cool, and I did it in Portland, and like a majority of them were just like very standoffish, stuck up. And so I just was like, all right. But it could have just been like a bad place that I would already experience. I mean, I'm not going to say all of it is bad, or that I don't like Portland, but
Portland is actually a really nice place, like in the interior, like on the east side, and just like the place itself is very nice. And there's a lot of very cool, chill people there. It's what's happened. I have a theory. It's a West Coast thing, right? I have a whole theory about this. So hear this out.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
when people have a sense of purpose and meaning, and they feel like they have something to work towards, or like something to take care of, like a responsibility, I think that you'll find that they're generally happy people if they're able to take care of those things. And I think more and more we're growing a population who don't have that for whatever reason. And a lot of it, I think, is spiritual, or like a lack of a, because I feel like what we like call traditional values were like rules that people lived by that helped everyone get along better. A lot of them were. And so it's like in the void, there's like a new void on the West Coast of those values where they're being kind of rejected for ideological reasons.
Yeah.
And the groups of people who are rejecting them are finding them, and I'm not, this is my observation. It seems as though they're finding themselves without a sense of purpose and meaning. And so they're directing that into politics, into like revolutionary activism. But it's not actually providing them with the personal accomplishments and like resources and all that stuff that are like that lead to having a happy and healthy holistic life. And I think a lot of that is because the actual ideology that is prevalent in those groups is very materialistic and aspiritual. And so it's actually led them away from any, and I don't even mean like a religion, but sort of any sort of like holistic spiritual outlook on reality.
Well, not even outlook on reality, but I feel like they don't even want to look at themselves, get to know themselves, because for me, I feel like spirituality is not, it's more the like discovery of the self, like your full potential.
Sure.
And that's part of it, at least. And they are, they feel like this lack of purpose because they are basically just like vicariously living through just everything that just comes around, and it's all like, and especially
it's very hedonistic, or like self-serving and hedonistic.
Yeah, it is. And it's
people on the right have been saying that for a long time, but like I've always grown up far left. I'm was always the farthest left guy you were gonna find, but now I've been pushed far to the center politically because of the people around me and what the culture's like, because I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to censor people. I don't want to, I don't want to make people feel bad for the stuff they say. So I'm automatically on the wrong team.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to be on the wrong team in someone's eyes.
Just in my world. Oh, that's so interesting. Is so now I can meet a conservative person and disagree with them on almost everything, but the fact that they believe in God actually makes them and me more like related than most of the people on the far left that I can talk to. Even though I agree with the people on the left more, they have no, it seems like they typically have no, it's very atheistic. And I'm not even like a Christian or anything. I'm just like, sorry, you go.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. I honestly, everybody's, especially recently, has gotten so wrapped up into politics. And it's healthy to an extent, but I feel like everybody is just, instead of, they kind of get so wrapped up into politics that they kind of, they don't identify with somebody for just who they are as a person, but like their political beliefs. And there's so much more to somebody than that. And like, even if I don't agree with them politically, they still might not be a bad person, or they still might be an interesting person. And I feel like it's just really been separating people a lot, and pushing them away from themselves, and just kind of like just every little disagreement politically. You know, it you can agree on like some major core things, but have these slight disagreements with each other on, you know, something that's minuscule, and all of a sudden you view this person a completely different way, and you might not even like them as much, or you might have less respect
I mean,
for
yeah.
them.
No, I've been blocked by a ton of people
Yeah,
who I know in real life.
I've it's sad, and I've noticed
Because
like,
and it's not even because I have the right wing viewpoint. It's because I just put my foot down about the things these people are saying. I mean, it's ludicrous to me.
Oh
You know?
yeah.
So I'll just be
mean,
like, that's crazy talk, and then I'm the bad guy. I'm not even saying like any right wing thing. You know what I mean? I'll just be like, look, your guys are going too far.
Oh, you definitely. If somebody's taking it too far, you know, there are definitely points where I'm gonna put my foot down, and you know, but
My
at the same
favorite
time,
insult I've ever gotten is that I'm a crypto fascist.
I
Sorry.
mean, no, you're good.
I don't even know what that means, but
I
apparently
don't know
that's
what
what
that
I am.
means either.
Apparently I'm a crypto fascist.
Oh my god. Well, I feel like people aren't even really to believe in what they're into politically so much that they're more just interested in like being right or wrong.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody's just like, you know, kind of in disagreements with each other, or like, you know, fighting with each other basically. And at the, you know, for me, if I disagree with somebody politically enough to where I'm like, you're a piece of shit, I'm just going to cut them out of my life, because
Yeah.
you know, you can tell them what they're doing is wrong or it's not okay, but there's nothing that you could say to convince them, or make them realize that.
Right. No, they're doing
always,
the work for you if they ever. You know, I don't know. Like, I feel like I've burned some bridges as far as because of my scene, you know. I mean, West Coast musicians. But, look, I always figure if someone likes you, they like you.
yeah,
You know? And those are the people
that's
you want to be friends with. And,
definitely.
you know. I just think
It's
there is something odd that's happened with the internet age where people aren't able to take, or a lot of people don't seem to take other people at face value. Like, they think they're being trolled. And so there's this
Yeah.
weird, uneasy back and forth of very dishonest discourse. Like, I had one yesterday on Twitter where it was just basically people trying to draw their own conclusions from a shit post I made. And then get it's just that. Like, the shit post technically worked, but it didn't work how I wanted it to by doing it.
Yeah.
Because I just did my point. It's like, the thing that's odd to me is when I do one of these shit posts, I view the people coming and talking to me, or, you know, responding to it, they're the ones coming to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's always this constant reversal, like, I'm attacking them somehow. Or, like, that's, like, the vibe. It's like, I'm on the one, but I'm actually on the neutral, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're the one on the adversarial mode.
I mean,
Because that's the point of a shit post, right? Is to get, like, a nice... If you don't know, as far as I understand it, the difference between, like, trolling and shit posting is trolling is where you post things that you know are wrong, that are not true, to get something, like, rile people up. But shit posting is when you just post things that are true, that have the same effect. But it's like, so it's almost the same as trolling, but it's just like you give just a normal statement of fact that goes against the sort of narrative of something.
Yeah.
And then that's just as offensive and insulting as if it was a troll post. It's treated the same as if it's a troll.
It kind of makes me think of, like, you know, like that whole lack of purpose, you know? People, like I said, aren't like really they don't even really very much believe in these ideas as passionately as they make themselves think that they do, but they just don't have a sense of purpose. So they're just going from one thing to the next to make it about them, to kind of give them
Sure.
this like
Right.
like oh, I'm important kind of thing.
Like a
as
narrative too, like a narrative to
Yeah.
live life by, which is fine. Like I'm
Yeah.
living my narrative off of I like to play music and talk to cool people, and get to know people.
Same.
If we would have met at a bar or something, we would have just been chatting it up the same way. It's literally like, to me, it's kind of all the same. It's how you live your
Yeah.
life. It's the spirit that you embody and bring to, like, what. That's one of the things that I've asked myself from a really young age, and it made me. I was pretty hard on myself after a while because I realized I was kind of a fucking. I just felt like I was a user in my early 20s, and like
Well, how
my
so?
just like I took more resources than I gave.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I mean,
'Cause I was a
definitely, I
music-
was a piece.
Yeah, but as I grew older and got more hard on myself, I was like, I'd start to ask myself, what am I bringing to the situation? Like, what do I have to offer here? And if the answer was
Yeah.
nothing, that was my cue to go. You know?
Yeah, and that's good to have that awareness, because people don't really take the time to think like, what can I give? I mean, definitely, but most of the time people are like, what can I get out of this?
Mm-hmm.
And
But unconsciously too, like, it's not necessarily
unconsciously,
like,
yeah.
it's not
You're
necessarily
not
always.
trying to be a piece of shit.
Yeah, and we all do that. Like, I think the first step is to say to yourself that is the case for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you can do that, maybe I'm unique in some way, but doing that has enabled me to easily move through the world gracefully,
Same.
with an understanding of, and there's a gratitude that comes along with that. Like, if I'm feeling shitty or in a bad mood or whatever, I try to remind myself of what I'm grateful for.
Yeah, it's healthy too, because I mean, if there's no way that you're gonna like really learn from the experience that made you feel shitty in the first place, because you put yourself there. There's no way you're gonna learn from it if you're like, "Wow, it was me," if you victimize yourself,
Right.
or just and so it's just going to keep happening over and over and over again. So at some point you need to like kind of get, some sort of self-awareness in that situation in order to evolve as a human being, like, mentally and emotionally. And it took me a long time to realize that. I feel like, I don't lack the awareness per se. I do lack the motivation, which is hard, because, you can see what you're doing wrong, and you know what you're doing wrong, and you can deny it for a time. But, at some point it's going to start getting to you, and you realize you have to do something about it. And, I'm the kind of bitch that I have to learn things the hard way. I have to go through something
Sure, I
really.
mean, we all learn our lessons.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, both of us has made plenty of mistakes. I didn't go into my biggest mistakes. I'll have to tell you those mostly in private.
Okay.
But but like, or just because I don't think it's PG-13 content.
Oh, okay.
But then
I am.
continuing on, like, what about that? See, here's the thing, like, so I think I have a definition of what God is. Okay, here it is. It's
Okay.
where you end and everything else begins.
Okay.
It's a theoretical boundary between
Everything else.
the entirety of the universe and you. Because that does exist somewhere, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's a really interesting concept. Um, and I mean, while you're at it, I mean, I haven't talked about this in a long time. I mean, my opinion of what I think God is like there's something that connects everything together, and there's an intelligence in that kind of force, I guess. So, just like a, I can't, oh God, it's been so long. I mean, I think Einstein has talked about this force, um, but it's 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 basically what connects like the earth. Everybody says like everything is connected, and I think that
Well,
is the
obviously it
case.
is. I mean, I think
Yeah, there
that's we
is.
don't need to prove that any more times.
Oh yeah, and that field, that entity or whatever it is that connects everything together, there's like a beauty, there's an intelligence to that, and that's what I think is God.
So you
And
have the same opinion as me.
yeah.
Because if that's where you end and everything else begins, that's where you meet that thing that you're describing. Like where the
Yeah.
limit, it's called the liminal space. I don't know if you've heard the word liminal, but liminal is like the area where where one thing becomes the limit, and becomes another thing.
Oh,
So there's like a
interesting.
limit. I feel like there's a liminal space between where each of us as like a vortex. Because a lot of the visions I've seen and just the interactions I've had with people on psychedelics, I've seen that there's like a sort of multi-dimensional vortex that goes through the center of every, like there's a polarity to it on the top of people's heads and on their feet and on their
Oh
different
yeah, we have
chakras.
our I mean we have our
Yeah,
own electromagnetic sphere.
totally.
Um and
And there's like a fractal relationship with that and everything else around it, and there's a liminal space where the person becomes the god, and the
oh
god
yeah,
is reality.
we create our own reality. We are our own gods. Like we are literally creating our, and like that's the thing, is like we have so much power and so much potential as human beings, and we're just stuck in this weird matrix. I really think, where we are just, whether that matrix be like technology or you know getting caught up in your ego, or media, just all these kind of distractions, so many distractions in society
Mm.
that literally nobody really knows themselves. Like nobody, there's nothing in society that, at least Western culture, that's, makes people, delve within, because I think that's the most important part, and that's why
Well,
people
yeah,
lack
only the
this.
religions,
Only the religions, but even then, especially
and those
Western
have been,
culture, that.
severely, in a lot of cases, very severely tampered with and
Oh yeah.
adulterated or whatever.
And that's why I agree with spirituality, because it's not just like, especially with certain religions, it's like you have to do it this way,
Hmm.
and
And it'll
no, you
probably
don't.
work. Like whatever their way, that's the point of religion, is like something that'll probably work. But
Maybe,
that's it.
but
It's not necessarily like the best way to do it. It's just something that might work.
it might, and I'm
Like
not
it works
saying,
for drug addicts apparently, like at
it
a
can
high
work.
level.
It works for some people and not for others, but the people that it does work for, they're like, it worked for me, so it's got to work for you. And no,
Right.
I mean, whatever gets you there, everybody has their own method, and the worst thing that you can do is like go around the mountain and telling them, instead of getting at the top of the hill, you're going around telling everybody this is the way that you get here, and when there's multiple paths that lead you to the same place. And so ultimately you never really get up the hill, you're just there telling everybody where to go and how to do it.
Right.
And I mean, with some religions, I feel like it makes you feel like you have to look outside of yourself for this sense of like peace or nirvana or just meaning, you know, when you really, what you should be is like doing is delving within, you know.
It reminds me of Martin Luther King, what you're saying, because he said on the last speech, he said, you know, I'm
What
not
was that?
I might not get there with you. He said, well, I go back. He said, well, it's kind of exactly what you're saying. I mean, I just have to ask you, maybe, like, when you're up, we've all had those moments, maybe on psychedelics or just in meditation or just thinking about things and relating to things in maybe a more, like, open-minded way, where you kind of get up on a hill, you know, a theoretical hill or a conceptual one, where you're looking at society and the people around you, and there's sometimes this terrifying, it's like a horrifying thing where you realize, oh shit, like this is absolutely stupid. Like whatever it is, there's some ideas that we hold as society, there's things that are just totally wrong, and they're so wrong that they actually, the effect of people believing those things is catastrophic. Like it actually could destroy fucking society, and you realize that sometimes on psychedelics, but oftentimes in, like I said, in other states, and just, you're like, oh shit, and there is this moment where like, you want to pump the brakes. You know what I'm saying? Or it's just like, what can I do to like grab people's attention and think about what the fuck are we doing here? Because we're doing it all wrong, and a lot of times wrong, a lot of ways at the same time wrong. It's a bad sitch.
It is a really bad situation.
But I'm saying that in contrast to what you were saying, because you're talking about that enlightenment, that nirvana, that like, that good side of religion. But I think that's why it's kind of gotten perverse, is it's no longer recognizing the absolute horror that is reality. Like,
oh yeah, no, it's
you have to fucking understand the shit is as bad as it gets. You know what I mean? To understand how it can get better, I think, or something like that.
It's definitely, it's awful, and people are so scared to look at the negative side of things, you know, because they don't want to, like, you know, I've heard a lot of people tell me, like, ignorance is bliss, and, you know, like, there are beautiful, you know, things out in our world, in our universe that, you know, a lot of it we can't even fully comprehend, but there are equally as dark things out there, but the thing is like, you don't want to recognize it, because then you have to, like, you know, look at what's really going on, and you have to actually do something about it, because, you know, if you know it and you're not doing anything about it, you're part of the problem. And that's like what people don't want to come to terms with, is like, you're being part of the problem. And dude, like you,
no, I agree 100%. That's right on.
Thanks. Yeah. And I came to terms with that one day, and like, I'm not like much of a public speaker. Like, Twitch is great because, you know, I don't have to actually see the people that are watching me. And, you know, when Black Lives Matters was like way more big of a thing than it is now, I kind of saw it as an opportunity, and I hit people up in the local area, like San Luis Obispo, to integrate mass meditation before protests. And I did like a lot of research. Good luck with that. They were open to it.
Did they want to do it? But did they actually do it?
Well, the thing is like, yeah, they did. I kept it like 10 minutes. I kept it short. And because I'm not an avid meditator myself, I've done the research, and like, there was a study done where this university, you know, and this research was funded by people at Harvard and, you know, a lot of big names.
I mean, it's obviously a genius idea. I mean, you have to do it. And it's just what you're supposed to be doing.
it had lowered, you know,
We should actually be
like,
making a church, like a good church. Is like what it
well,
seems
yeah,
like.
it's, I mean, just sitting
Because
there and
here's the thing. Here's a fun idea. Okay, I got one for you. 2 different people in the United States who are black. I'm gonna compare the 2, and you tell me who's happier. One is born on the West Coast, and they're taught that they live in a white supremacist patriarchy that, you know, where they're disadvantaged and the whole spiel. They're just taught that from the ground up. Another is in an actual, a place where it's more racist in the South, and they belong to like a black church, and they all sing, and they've never heard about that whole spiel. They don't never heard one thing about like intersectional feminism or critical race theory or any of its rules or ideas. Who's happier? The people who are poor but have a good church, or the people who have no church and are taught that the world hates them?
that's actually a really tough one because, you know, the people who are poor and have this community, obviously they're going to be a lot happier because they haven't really maybe been exposed to all of these things. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, they're like ignorant to
Right.
like what's really going on around them. And these people, you know, who live in the West Coast, they may have more money and like they may be more
Mm-hmm.
exposed, and it's depressing, but they are aware of it.
But they're in like a
Yeah.
far higher financial class. Because that's
Oh,
one of the things that's fascinating to me is that poor people don't know about the rules, the linguistic rules and word games of, you know, social justice lingo and all that.
Yeah.
And so that's like when people are playing those games, they have to at some point realize that they're playing them outside of the realm of the working and poor class. Like it's happening
Yeah.
in a different class level, right? Like
Yeah.
eventually that's got to be just something that's self-evident. I don't know
Yeah.
what it'll take though. I think it takes a lot of memes cuz that's what most of the that's what Trump was. Trump
I
was
mean,
those poor people dunking on the libs. That's literally all he was. It was like dunking on the people who had made fun of them their whole life.
yeah. I mean,
Or at least from my
it's,
perspective, that's what it looked like.
yeah, it's a, I mean, it's a,
Like
I've
I
never
didn't
really
vote
thought
for
of it
Trump.
like that.
I didn't vote for Trump, but if you ask the average Trump voter what their reasoning was, it was probably to dunk on the libs. It was like the first
Yeah.
reason. Just like kind of, it's like vengeance, I
Might be
guess.
cutting out a little bit. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's I mean, it's an interesting way to think, you know, especially takes me out of like my just reality and trying to empathize with these two different, completely different sides.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I yeah, like what I said, like when it comes to politics, I'm not actually really well versed on it. I stay
Right.
away from it. I
That's
see
probably
it as
wise.
just, yeah, I see it doing a lot more damage
Mm-hmm.
than good, honestly, and that's, and I see it as another distraction away from like people trying to look at themselves, and
Come
getting
on
to
in,
know
Peppa.
themselves. Huh?
Yeah. No, keep going.
Um, but I mean, with the whole, like I agree, like people deserve equal rights, but with the whole meditating before protests, I was doing that more for like just humanity's sake, because when you do it in groups, it really does, like I said, we all have an electromagnetic sphere, um, and they extend kilometers past our body. Whatever you're feeling, somebody else can feel that. Um, and so when you're all kind of together working on this same thing, it extends onto like just our day-to-day lives and to everybody else's lives. And also, you know, when you're meditating, Oh shit! What happened? When you're meditating, it kind of works out your frontal cortex. Um, so you're more likely to think rationally and act calmly. Um, if a stressful situation arises. I don't know if I am even.
That's
connected
definitely
right.
true. Can you hear me?
Yeah. No, I can hear
Okay,
you.
Kaipo's joining. Kaipo's joining. Hi, Kaipo.
Okay.
I'm already here. Hi.
Hello. um, but yeah, it's and so it just on a personal level, even outside of that, outside of because people kind of view meditating as like this hippie spiritual thing, when it's a lot more than that. It's your our frontal cortex. It doesn't even fully develop until we're around 25 or 26. That's why we're so kind of careless when we're younger in our younger years. And that's a part of our brain that thinks rationally. It's the back of our brain is more of like the fight or flight, and that's what causes us to react irrationally, or get angry quickly. So yeah, it's just, I think, a healthy thing that we should
They were
really...
saying I should marry you earlier, but now I really think I should.
I let me tell you what, like, it that's sweet. It feels so good to be able to talk about this kind of stuff because I feel like my friends are open to it, but it's nice to talk with somebody who enjoys it just as much and is well versed, maybe probably a little bit more.
I don't know. Maybe on a couple
Everyone
things.
here.
The only thing I
Everyone
know
here
is
pretty weird, just like that.
the only thing I know is Jungian psychology. That's what I studied. And I know a thing or two about like occult stuff.
I honestly, I haven't even done a lot of research, maybe that much about psychology. I've just come across things, like, spiritually. Like, one thing that helped me a lot, I've always, I don't know, I've just been this kind of person who, even at a young age, has wanted to understand, like, the true reality of things.
Yeah.
That's like a very important thing to me. I just remember being a little kid and crying one time and being like, I know this sounds so fucking cheesy, but
No, this is a cool ass story.
when I was younger, like, my parents were religious Catholic and I had Christian neighbors, and hearing the idea of God through a religious standpoint, I loved the idea, and it felt very strong and powerful connecting to it, but then at the same time it just didn't feel right. So I was just very curious, and I remember, like, I know this sounds stupid, but I was like praying to God. I'm like, show me what you are.
Nice. No, that doesn't sound stupid. That sounds like a real religious moment to me. Like a true one, not some fucking contrived bullshit.
Yeah, it's
just actual, like, genuine, like you're fucking asking. You're like, oh, show me fucking what you got, motherfucker. What do you got?
Show me what you got.
It's not in the context of a priest or a minister or a whatever. It's just you.
Yeah, and it's...
Dude.
It's,
Okay, tell me the rest of your thing, because I got a quote for you.
Oh, fuck yeah. I was pretty young. I was, like, maybe, like, 11 at the time. And... this is before I even had a really good idea of life, but just, yeah, I think I've always just had this kind of, this thing about me that wanted to connect with something deeper, more than just the surface level, and this weird awareness even at a young age. And I feel like over time, especially because I had that yearning, I feel like whatever God did really, like, show me what was going on. And, you know, I, at like maybe age 12, 13, I got like really into spirituality. I just came across this person on YouTube named like a Dronus, and I know sounds gnarly, but they like, you know, channeled their, I know this sounds crazy, like higher self.
Yeah. So some people do that.
Or whatever. And I just remember just hearing like, you create your own reality. Kind of, it went deeper into that, but it really spoke to me. And then it kind of made me realize that I need to stop like looking for this knowledge really mainly outside of myself.
That's so crazy. Now, this quote I got for you. Have you ever heard of the Nagamati?
No.
Probably not.
Maybe.
Okay. Maybe not. Maybe. Most people haven't. I'm not. Usually, it's amazing how many times I've asked that question. Even though if the answer's always no, I might as well never ask it. Anyway, Nagamati is the oldest intact Gnostic Christian writings that have been found.
Oh.
They date to about 300 300 AD, and they're in a language called Coptic, which was the language of Egypt at that time.
Oh.
And in it is a thing called the Gospel of Thomas, which is a series of sayings that he recorded that were spoken, according to him, by the living Jesus Christ.
Oh.
And so the first thing it says, so I'll give you two quotes, because I'll give you the first one, but the second one is the one I was going to quote for you, because it's like about 56 riddles, I think. Mostly they're kind of riddles. So the first one is, he who finds the interpretation of these words will not experience death.
Mm.
That's a standalone riddle. So that's a deep, that's a really deep one.
I love that it makes you really, the thing that I love about these words, and I feel like the reason why they're not so straightforward, it's just designed to make you think, like really explore the meaning behind like these words.
Right.
And, the interpretation. That's part of like the journey. It's not supposed to just do it for you. You have to kind of really figure it out on your own.
So you're going to love the second one.
Oh, okay.
Number 2. If those who lead you point to the sky and say, the kingdom of heaven is in the sky, then the birds will precede you. If they point to the ocean, then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside of you, and it is outside of you. And when you come to know yourself, you'll become known. And you will know that you are the living child of the living Father.
Oh.
And then it says, if you do not come to know yourself, you will live in poverty, and you will be that poverty, which is a really cool idea. I love that you will be the poverty. Like, you will emblematically, embody poverty, spiritual poverty.
Spiritual poverty.
Yeah.
That's what's going on right now.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's a dope ass. That's the Christianity that everyone deserved in knowing God, because of the Nicene Conference and the Catholic Church and all these people who stopped the true words of the original Gnostic Christians, from being passed on. That's kind of my historical take, but.
That's, I really fucking love the way you think. I mean, I'm kind of a lazy bitch, so, I mean, I kind of like, and that's why I'm not even really that much of a good streamer. Like, I could do my research.
I think you're a great streamer, but I love the humility. It's good. Keep the humility. It's a good quality.
I will. I don't think it'd be
strengthens
for
the
me
spirit.
to become full. It does. I would hate to be full of myself. like the suffering
Thank
that I've
God.
been through has made me, I'm thankful for it. Like the suffering that I've been through, because I've really learned so much from it. And if you kind of view it like that, it becomes a lot less negative in that sort of way. You don't see it as just like suffering, victimizing yourself. You know,
Amen, man.
yeah, you see it as something that can empower you. Um,
And I
and
think that is
so,
where we can reach into that. Like I love this saying, "Leap and the net appears." To me,
yeah.
that's like embodies what faith is, because faith is not the same as belief. Like you can't, like you know those strength, those trust exercises where you fall back and someone catches you.
Yeah,
Have-
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you seen that? So it's like you don't believe they're going to catch you. It's a different emotion. It's faith. Like faith is different than
Yes.
belief. You have faith that they're going to catch you because you can't believe
Yes.
it. You can't see it. Like you have to, you know the saying,
No.
you have to see it to believe it. The faith you can't believe. It's like a different, it's like not even the same. I think faith is much more emotional, whereas belief is more intellectual. Like
Oh,
someone
it
believes
is.
something to be true. Hey, Alex, welcome. Howdy. Howdy, y'all, Alex said. Hell yeah. She's one of our
I'm
cool hippie
going
chicks.
to- Hell yeah.
Did
I
you see
am.
my redeem out as
I'm
long
just.
days?
I feel like this is.
Maybe I know you have to go to your dinner date soon, so
Oh,
don't want
no,
to keep
you know
you.
what? It's fine. Like my friend's staying like a couple of days,
Okay, good.
and you know, fuck it, they'll survive.
Dude,
I'm really,
we're hard chilling.
we are, and I'm really fucking digging this. Like it's been so long since I've had a conversation like this, and it's so refreshing and like cathartic, and I'm gonna do, I don't want to be selfish, and you know it's not like I'm like thank my friends, but I'm gonna, you know, do what makes me happy, and
No, you got it.
what, yeah, you really have to, because I've been, you know, I've suffered for the benefit of others just to make them feel a little less uncomfortable. Um, and I mean, it's it's not less of a, like, for me doing this is kind of like maybe like a little bit more of a self-respect. Like I used to be so insecure that I'm like, you know, I rather making, you know, pleasing other people is like what makes me happy or whatever. I don't even know. Um, and I just used to think that if I were to slightly inconvenience somebody just for the purpose of like making myself feel more comfortable or happy, even if it's not like very selfish, um, then I won't do it. And also, my friends are tight as shit, so they don't care. Um, yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah. See, the first part, I was the opposite, and now then the second part is the same. I was kind of a little
Mhm.
shit.
Oh, dude. I mean, I still like.
I was pretty fucking. That's what I was saying. I feel like for my early 20s and shit, I took more than I gave. You know.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I was younger, like, you know, middle school, ninth grade, I was, you know, very much had no backbone. But then, you know, I got like maybe around 14. I started drinking, and just being a little wild child, and it was fun.
Wild child.
Wild child, but I was a little shit too. I had hurt people because, you know, I was being selfish. Um, and then, you know, I'd make it about myself or something. Um, you know, or, you know, like,
Do you want me to tell you the 2 worst things I've ever done?
all right.
God, they're both things I can say on stream. When I was like 13, 14, 13, what is that, middle school?
Mm-hmm.
There was this girl, like, down a few blocks away. We grew up together, and she had a boyfriend. And I went over to her house, and I convinced her to break up with her boyfriend and call him. I don't know why.
What? Did you guys like do anything or just cause?
Yeah. Then after that, like, we kind of like messed around a little bit, and then I sort of not stopped talking to her.
Oh. I mean.
And I was very young. I was very young.
It's okay.
But
like,
I feel bad about it for sure. That was like one of the worst things I ever did.
I think I cheated once, which was shitty. They don't think they know about it till this day. But then I also, that same person, like, this person wasn't that great, but I was also pretty shitty too, and I took advantage of them. You know, like I entered a relationship with them because I didn't want to be alone, and they're obviously way more into me than I was them, and you know, I like used them. They let me get away with a lot. I manipulated them. You know, not like consciously. It was, you know, a lot of it was subconsciously, and I had convinced myself
like that
that I'm the victim here.
Thing.
Yeah, and you know, it was like Halloween. My friend's having a costume party, and him and his dad had helped me make my costume, and it's just so fucked up. And I'm not proud of it either. There was a guy there that at the party that was really fucking hot, who I'd never met, and I looked at him and I'm like, I'm going to fucking make out with this guy or whatever. Me and him are getting together. Just upon looking at this person, I'm like, so I'd broken up with my boyfriend at the party, and then convinced everybody else that I was the victim. And then after I broke up with the guy, then I fucking went. Then, you know, I mean, I didn't initiate it. You know, I went to the kitchen. It's like late at night. You know, he's like, I'm like, I'm going to the kitchen to grab something. And he's like, oh, me too. And then, you know, we get to the kitchen. We look at each other and we're just like, you know. And so we were just making out in the kitchen, the bathroom, and then my friends are like, okay, I see what's going on here. So, you know, people were pissed. People were pissed because they genuinely believed that he was the one in the wrong. And he just had a lot of issues, you know. He'd do things like drop a dab and punch himself in the face.
Okay. So you had a wild man on. You had a wild man.
Let me tell you what, I sure know how to choose them. And by that, I mean, oh my God, I have terrible taste in men. I mean, I don't think so much anymore.
Good on you.
I think a lot of it is just, I didn't want to
Even the shitty dudes need to get laid. That's what I say.
I mean, a part of it was like I didn't want to be alone, but it was also like I would attract people like, I don't want to say had daddy issues, but my dad's, you know, very manipulative, would gaslight the shit out of me, and I'd attract these men who would do the same thing, but a lot worse. And I knew that was the case.
What's your relationship with your mom like?
Oh, I don't get it long. I mean, my mom...
So you're more of a daddy's girl.
Huh?
You're more of a daddy's girl then.
No, I'm not. I get along with my mom better than I do my dad.
Oh, you like your mom more?
Yeah, because she talks to me like a human being.
Okay.
I mean, she has mental health issues, so she'll be very volatile out of nowhere. Yeah, she's bipolar, and so, I mean, I get it, you know, when she's all bipolar and yelling for no fucking reason.
My mom is bipolar too.
It's a mom thing. And,
Alex, the topics of interest are spirituality and society. And I've been working on that one.
Nice. Beautiful.
It's almost schizophrenia, but it's not.
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going. I'm like, okay.
That's actually a good t-shirt. It's almost schizophrenia, but it's not.
But it's not.
But it's not. I don't know. You've taken some psychedelics.
Oh, I've so actually when I lived in Washington, one of my roommates made DMT, but I've also taken acid and shrooms. But definitely my favorite was DMT.
DMT.
And no, that shit felt like going home or something. It's like I never had the Joe Rogan experience where I, broke through and talked to like angelic beings or whatever.
You didn't see any creatures?
No, it was more of like a download of information.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Like a vision? Yeah, no, I've had a few of those myself. You can go on. I don't need to explain them again because they're on past episodes. But yeah, I've had visions.
Fuck yeah. I
Tons of visions.
Fuck yeah. I definitely...
No crystal girlfriend. A lot of women in my family are bipolar. No, I don't know what you mean, Alex. What do you mean, no crystal girlfriend? Like, I maybe she's asking if you have no crystal? She says I get downloads all the time. Okay, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I think I've only had about, I want to say 4 or 5 solid, visionary experiences.
Okay.
And that weren't on a psychedelic. I mean.
Yeah, that weren't like a psychedelic.
Like on psychedelics, I've had all kinds of experiences. I just mean that while not on one, I guess I should say. While not on a psychedelic, I've had a few.
I'm not sure if for me, it's more of like a deep understanding of things and like connecting to that, or having enough faith. And like, I do have that connection and I have this spirituality about me, and I do have like very strong intuition or sixth sense, even when it comes to just like energies and spirits of my environment,
Oh yeah, have you ever heard or seen or experienced anything that led you to believe that something was haunted or that there was a spirit or some kind of ghost? Or have you ever had any?
So many.
Same here.
Yeah, it's and like these entities, they know that you're a lot more sensitive, and I think that they kind of like cling to you more than they would others. Because my parents' house is haunted, or it was. Sure. I've heard things like footsteps walking towards me, like plain as day, like a very Oxford, you get this feeling that somebody is there watching you when you sleep. I've heard whispers in my ear. I've seen full-on apparitions.
So here's the thing, yeah, so an apparition, as far as I can tell, because I've seen a ton of them, is actually a memory. It's an experience of someone, but it's not actually it's not actually a spirit. It's just like the information itself.
Yeah,
encoded
just like a memory
space.
Imprinted. Yeah,
yes. For me, usually it's with wood. I know people were saying it's with stone, but I have had a lot less experience with stone. For me, everything is with wood. Either furniture, beams, like the wood architecture of houses and all that. Cedar. Anything with cedar.
Interesting.
But I've seen a ton of shit that's with wood. And often, too, one of the things that I get is knocking on wood.
I get a lot of knocking, too.
And it's always on some... Obviously, it's kind of convenient that wood is resonant, but it's always on something made of wood.
That's really interesting. I always kind of, okay, so it kind of is like acts as sort of like it's kind of conductive or gives off, I don't know. I don't know what.
Let's just say it floats, but it's hard.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way I can put it. It floats, but it's hard. Stone sinks. Metal sinks.
Interesting.
Everything else hard sinks. Plastic is no good.
Oh.
It's just
okay.
oil.
Yeah.
It just floats on water, but it doesn't. It's not hard.
Okay, I've never thought of it like that. See, I'd love to definitely talk to you more and like, and pick your brain, like especially after this, because.
Oh, I intend to do follow-up interviews on all of my guests. Fuck yeah! Okay. Cool. To see how they've progressed since. Where are they now? VH1.
Where are they? But I mean, even then, I really enjoy talking to you. And like, these are topics that I love talking about and exploring, but I feel like are so off-putting to most people. I feel like, and just, it's out of the comfort zone of most people. And I feel like it's kind of where I want to explore or dwell, because it's a part of the world that exists, and just because we can't like directly see it doesn't mean that it's not there and that it doesn't affect us.
Right.
Yeah, like,
I mean, I think, I have a thought on that. Like, traditionally in a shamanic culture, there might be 100 people or so in a village, but there's only one shaman. Like, it isn't the job for most people to deal with that kind of stuff on a practical level.
No.
And I think that still holds true for our society today.
I mean, there are definitely people out there who I do believe are like healers, and you don't have to be the typical.
It's this percentage. It's like a very narrow. It's kind of like what you're talking about. Like, you don't meet many people who, are dealing with these issues or whatever. I guess you call it.
I guess self-aware enough, or just just willing to break out of their comfort zone, or just kind of look outside of, look at reality outside of what they were told. Because for me, especially with religion, it's just like you hear it and people believe it, but it just didn't feel right to me. And you have to go with that intuition, go with that feeling. And, I'm not going to say that we all don't have that capability to be more intuitive and connected with ourselves and our environment, and just the true reality of things.
Right.
But the thing is, it's like some just naturally have that ability and gravitate towards it more, and not in the same way. Everybody has their own different way of doing it. But even then, in this society, it's so hard to kind of, even if it calls to you very deeply, it's hard to stick to it. Because, I mean, when I first started getting into spirituality, it blew my mind. It blew my mind, and it made me look at the world differently and understand it better. And I wanted everybody else to kind of experience it or understand it, because I'm like, we need to know this. Like, holy shit, this is like
same
groundbreaking
here. I was a kid, it's
information.
because I was taking mushrooms and stuff. I was like 14, 15, taking mushrooms, and like, whoa, holy shit, there's a whole world. That's what I was telling people, like, there's a whole world around us.
Yeah.
That we don't even know about.
Yeah.
And I was sort of shut down.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny, and it's like, it's the same people who shut me down then are the people when they are who are into this, like, frickin' politics stuff, and do the same thing. Because I'm saying the same thing now that I was 10 years ago and 20 years ago. I'm just still saying, no, there's a whole world of spirituality here Like people can't be reduced down to fucking like
These,
just terms.
yeah, terms or
We're actually fucking complicated spiritual creatures.
yeah.
There's
like,
way more to it. Like our dreams transcend time and space. Like
oh,
you
they
have to
really
understand. You know, like that's the same. I've always been that kind of outcast. You know, the guy on
But-
the soapbox, the crazy guy.
It's hard. It's very alienating. It's so
Oh,
fucking
totally.
alienating.
No, like
And,
people don't like it. I'll tell you that.
No.
I can tell you that right now.
Not at all. And like I was so into it, but I gave up on it eventually because I was, you know, young and insecure, and I'm like, well, I just want to feel like I fit in, so I'm just gonna like hold this part of myself back in order to fit in better. And eventually it kind of I mean, it's still there, it still exists, but it just kind of got put on the back burner, and kind of like, you know, when you stop working out a muscle, it gets weaker. And it's made me feel a lot more depressed because like it's something that I strive for and that I want, but it's not something I was less okay with feeling alone than, you know, staying true to myself, because I didn't understand that staying true to myself would make me feel less alone, if that makes sense.
No, totally. The hardest thing that comes with that is telling the truth.
Yeah.
Like I'm obsessed with telling the truth, and I still lie all the time.
Oh yeah.
And I'm totally obsessive about it. You know, it's just like, if there's something that's the opposite of a compulsive liar, that's me. Like I'm a compulsive, like I want to tell the truth only, and I still fail constantly. Like it's not easy. It's one of the hardest things to do, is to tell the
Especially when
truth.
it comes to the little things like lying when it's easy. Like it's not even a huge lie. It just doesn't make you look like a little, like a kind of a piece of shit.
Right.
Or like, you know, you have to own up to your fucking mistakes.
That's my well-crafted shit posts on Twitter, where I say one thing that's true, and then a ton of people get mad.
That's I mean, I feel like especially when you put it out there in the world, like people are always gonna like just take something to offense.
The most recent one was yesterday. It was, the reason people are born is because people have sex. And that was offensive.
That's
Can you believe that? That's the world we live in. And we live in a world where that
but
statement...
it's true though.
No, but it's entirely true.
Yeah.
Unequivocally true.
It just like it
But it's offensive still.
because it makes people feel less important than they,
Right.
you know. Yeah.
So that's why, like, this is this phrase that just keeps coming to my mind, and it's not a quote. It just is just that what is a statement of fact for one is an offense for another.
Yep.
And I don't know how to get around that social area.
Oh, you
Like,
can't.
There's
You
just
can't.
no...
There's no
And that
way.
is starting to divide the right and the left, and the right is starting to take on the facts right now in this paradigm, because the left is starting to go wonky on identity
It's-
politics and that whole ideology, to the point of
Well,
absurdity.
Oh yeah, no, it is, and that's why I just literally I stay away.
Right, you stay away from it.
I really do, because yeah, it's just
It's funny for me because I've hardly ever met a Christian, but like I said earlier, at this point, just the fact they believe in a God makes me respect them more than all these people that are around me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's like, at least they're humble enough. It takes some level of humility, you know, to have a spiritual inclination like that. Even if their religion is wonky, I'm like a Muslim, whatever, at least if they kneel down and bow down and pray, you know? And that's like next level.
It is. It is, you know, I think it is an important thing. And, you know, I feel like there's a lot of people who maybe are, you know, religious or aren't. Um, and they're just like completely lost, you know? Um, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people who just identify themselves with the next thing that they're told to, by the media or by what's popular. Um, and it's just, it's so destructive. It's so.
It is overall, it seems like. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Like, and.
I mean, just even destructive, literally. Like, it's intentioned towards destroying our civilization, basically.
It is.
To put
and
it, and I know that sounds really hyperbolic, like really over the top, you know, but it's just like, I don't know. I think it's actually an accurate. I mean, that's the slogans.
God forbid.
The slogans are like end border, like destroy borders. You know, no nation, no. I don't think people understand like how we get human rights. Like you have to have laws to have human rights.
Well, for me, it's like, God forbid everybody actually work together towards something that, you know,
right.
or agree with each other
totally
on something that like really matters, because then we would actually do something about it. And like I feel like there's things like this politically, I feel like I see it as something that is kind of more of like a social experiment. Like people weren't so into politics and we were doing fine. Like obviously, yeah, you know, they've gotten worse over the years, politics and, you know, our president, blah blah blah. But I just see it as just like a, you know, if you, let's say there's like a, you know, these people who, or entity or whatever the fuck that are in charge or doing their best to keep humanity ignorant for their own benefit.
Sure, some kind of alien, say.
Yeah, or just
as a you know, hypothetical.
Yeah, as a oh god. I want to get into that one of these days. But
I was just saying.
well, just like even like, you know, our own government or like just people who are running humanity.
The Illuminati.
Yeah.
Let's just say the Illuminati.
Well, yeah, we can use the I try to be, you
That's
know,
an
I try
easy
not.
one.
I try to just be as objective as possible. I don't,
I
you
mean,
know, because
it's like the patriarchy. It's like saying the same kind of thing. It's like, oh, kind
Yeah.
of like a. There's a.
Well, I like the reason why I don't say it is because I feel like there's some people who hear that word and they take what I'm saying less seriously because
Sure,
like,
no, they should honestly, but that's my bias.
Theorist.
But that's because it's coming from that particular lingo, from that. I think that ideology is just on rotten foundation from the get-go, so that's why it's so off now.
Yeah.
Like it's based on this sort of zero-sum game concept, where in order for anyone to benefit, it has to be at the expense of someone else.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the running theme of that whole mindset. And to me, I don't find that to be very honest, because there's times, like right now, you and I are not imbalanced. We're just actually just having a good time. So there's what's lost in that mindset is the idea that people actually can work together to, like you're saying, to do good things together to make everything better for everybody. That doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's this weird mindset where it's like, oh no, we always have to be like correcting for the imbalances that occur.
Yeah.
But the problem is that imbalances occur. I'm sorry.
They're always going to. Yeah.
The imbalances occur, and I would rather live in a world where people are left alone than one where a government comes in and corrects whatever imbalances they determine exist. Because that could be whatever the fuck they want, and I want nothing to do with that. So call me a libertarian
Exactly.
or whatever. I don't know, but I just want to be nice to people. That's all I want to do.
I mean, I just feel like we are kind of raised and like that's why I feel like there is like this sort of
He
like
heard I have a
matrix.
big cock. All these people are coming and asking. It's true.
Big
I'm sorry.
cock?
Sorry to let you down. Sorry, there's
You're
no
so
climax.
But oh dang, I forgot what I was saying. Shit. I feel like, oh no,
It's
what
okay.
happened?
No, we're on it.
Okay.
You've got it.
Fuck, what was the last thing we were talking about?
Typo, what are we gonna do about the big cock guy?
Big cock
It's
guy.
up to,
Hi,
it's up
Sky.
to
Sky Eye.
Sky eye.
Rumor has it.
But yeah, I just,
People being allowed to share
I
their
feel like-
freaking thoughts. That's what we were talking about.
yeah,
being able to talk
allowing
about
to share their
anything.
thoughts.
Like, you should be able to say whatever. Like,
I
if you
mean-
think fucking whatever the hell, you should be able to say it. Right now. I mean, you.
Well, I mean,
I didn't
that's-
mean that
that's
as a hypothetical. I mean this right now. You should be able to say
Well-
whatever the fuck you want.
I mean, that's the thing about free speech, though, is people
Why would I stop
like
you?
the idea of free speech when when they are able to say what they want and what they believe in. Shit, you're cutting out. Oh, there we go. But they don't like it when they don't hear what they, you
Right.
know, when they hear things that they really disagree with. And I'm like, you have to things if you really want free speech. It's not like free speech
That you
because-
like.
Yeah, that you like.
It's so funny though. But we can make a joke about that because it is funny. Right? It is funny. But what isn't funny is that ideology is still present. Like, it's still going to work its way. And, like, I know people who believe this shit to the fucking core, you know? That America is got to go down by violent means, by revolutionary
Well, not
means.
violating. I mean,
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just
honestly-
like, no way, I'm not on the train, bro.
Well, the
It's
thing
not
is,
on
it's
the
like-
death train.
shit is so fucked, and everybody is. I mean,
We're
even
doing a
when
great
you-
job compared to everyone else in history, as far as human
mean,
rights. We have like
The
the
thing is like.
look at China right now, man. Holy
but We're
shit!
so behind in knowing ourselves. In
Oh,
the
totally.
Universe. Like,
It's true.
that's the thing that really fucking
Yes.
matters.
And that's what I was saying with this traditionalism thing, where it's like actually the best ideas we had were those constitutional ones. Like
Yeah,
that
I
was the
mean-
last time we were sane. Those guys knew
mean-
something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And now we're kind of like
Yeah.
off the fucking rails.
We are off the rails. And
They were like
I
free
feel like-
speech, religion, movement. Like this is serious stuff. That's like real human rights.
Oh yeah,
So if you
we're
want
led to
that
believe
shit-
that we actually have human rights, but really, we have enough to keep us content, you know, and okay and comfortable with not really fighting for what needs to be done, or just
Right.
even just like we're advancing technologically, but when it comes to like human evolution wise of like the soul and of the psyche, I feel like we're de-evolving. Like I feel like I'd much rather live like self-sustainable lifestyle where I work for everything that I get, and there's like
Right.
an
Like
actual
live on the land
community.
kind of thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I'd like
because
that.
people nowadays feel like we're separate from nature,
Mhm.
but we are nature. And
Totally.
like, that's why I feel like there's a lot of suffering going on there. And, technology is not only taking us away from nature and ourselves, but instant gratification is a fucking dangerous thing.
Right.
And it's a toxic thing for humans and society as a whole. And like our our society is becoming based around instant gratification.
Right.
And it's making people entitled. It's making them like lazy, and taking them away from themselves. Or there's always going to be some distraction, and like you have to, in order to be like at this level of awareness, you have to be either like just a smart enough human being, which is hard enough. It's really hard in this kind of society and day and age. Or you're just like,
You gotta have the time.
Yeah, it's
You have to make the time, I guess, is a better way to say it.
Yeah, and I feel like I just see people just disassociating with humanity, with themselves.
I think, like there's a good, maybe this is just popping in my head, but it's like, there's something beyond all of that is greater than man. It's greater than our species. It's greater than even the world of ideas that we occupy, conceptually and philosophically. And like, I mean, just to look at one, not even the politics of it, just philosophically, with the abortion issue, politics aside, philosophically, to say that, because that's where I got in trouble, is to say that pregnancy is a consequence of sexual intercourse. That isn't legislative. That's not because of us in society. That's because of the sexual reproduction, system that we've evolved and inherited as mammals. So it's so far beyond politics, and it's so shitty that issues like that are even political in the first place. Like, something like abortion shouldn't even be a political issue. That should be a scientific problem. And it's so fucked up that we're still, you know what I mean, that it's in the level of politics. It's fucking stupid. This is just straight science.
Because politics, I feel like,
and it's spirituality too, actually.
Yeah.
It's spirituality and science, and it's not politics. It's the other two.
It's not, but politics is like, it's a majority of it's like, I'm right, you're wrong. It's very opinionated. And like, because you give like abortion this label, you don't have to look at it from like an objective point of view and see it for what it really is. It's easier to get people to have your own kind of malicious viewpoints if you put this label on it that makes it about them and like their, whether they're right or whether they're wrong. And so,
Alex says it happens when religion tries to control things, but I would even refine that and say it's actually when religion gets involved in politics, because it's politics trying to control things. And that's the thing, is like, I think that the root of all evil, they say that the root of all evil is the love of money, but I think it's actually the desire to control other people.
Oh yeah, the power. That's what it is, not money.
The second a person lets go of the desire, like in their relationships, in the strangers they encounter, yada yada, to actually control them, whatever, manipulatively, or to have some influence over their beliefs. When you let go of that, you're free.
Oh yeah, you are.
I'm not
free.
coming into this trying to change your mind about anything. I just want to tell you what I think, and you'll tell me what I think, or what you think.
This is like where the people in power or whatever, they'll are doing literally everything that they can to control humanity or people. They're doomed. They'll never be truly free, because they think that their freedom is based off of like their power of controlling people, getting what they want, these material things. It's not like really it's not on a deeper level. It's all very kind of
It's materialistic.
surface. Yeah.
That's the word I use. It's only focused on the physical world, that which can be touched and seen.
Yeah, and
like we were talking about earlier, there's more
being fooled.
There's more to life than that. I mean, that's exactly, we're the ones. That's why one of them. This is another thing. Like, I get these weird quotes in my head, but they're not. I've looked them up. I guess I just came up with them, but I don't want to take credit for them because I feel like a ghost tells them to me or something. But this is one is like, they can take away, they can take away everything from you, even your life. But there's one thing that can never be taken away, and it's your ability to look back and smile.
I like that. Look back and smile.
You can look back and you can smile and you can be happy anyway. And that you can never take that away. Because like I'm from an Irish and a Welsh bloodline that like have tons of subjugated, histories. We've had tons of people beheaded and killed and murdered and shit.
Fuck.
So I've learned that one. I feel like it's genetic. Like I just know that quote. It just came to me from that. I just know. You can look back and you can laugh. Or you can say one last thing.
I mean, if you, like, I think you can look back and laugh and really, like, understand it. And they can't take that away from you, but they can make you think that they have.
Well, you can stare them in the eyes. That's the that's the gist of the quote, is the idea that you can look whoever is killing you right back in the face and smile.
Oh, and you take away that power that they want. And like, but the thing is like,
and then your life is actually like has a pretty serious value.
Oh, it does, and I feel like it'll strongly affect that person, because even in like one thing that I really wanted to, like, I felt was very important in incorporating like the mass meditations for the Black Lives Matter movements. It's like, when just in general, like when someone comes at you with any sort of hostility, they're used to a certain reaction, because most people right away, when they feel attacked, they feel like they either have to come back at that person with the same level of hostility or be louder and more hostile in order to be heard. And so when people get that reaction, they know how to handle it. They know what to do, because that's what they're used to. That's what they expect. They can either gaslight you or whatever, this or that. But if you come back at them like calmly, if you don't take what they're saying personally, you're taken aback. They don't know what to do.
And then if that's not what happens, you get what happens when the Antifa and the Proud Boys fight.
Wait,
which
what?
happens.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Sometimes these groups of people fight each other in the streets.
Oh yeah.
And that's what you get,
That's what you get. It's just a whole bunch of people, like, they're not even really thinking about what's going on or the situation for what it is. They just
And Kaipo can chime in on this one. I'll say this to you, Kaipo. The people on the left here in the United States, let's just say they don't know how to fight. And they're small. So it's like a bunch of big ass guys who know how to they know how to clock. They know how to clock a motherfucker out. And they just wait. And these Antifa guys, I've seen it in Portland, they show up with like batons and shields and all this like gear, and armor.
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't matter. I mean, it's just, these people don't, I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry, but it is a little bit funny because it's like what they're signing up for. Like, it's like a rude awakening. Like, this is actually what fighting is. Because I think none of these people, they're in a fantasy world where they think they can just show up on the street with a baton and a shield and they're going to get their way. basically.
Mhm.
They're
Well,
going to be
yeah, I
able to
mean-
do whatever they want. And
You-
then
you
someone else
can't-
shows up who weighs 280. I'm sorry. It's over. It's just totally done. They're done. They're on the ground. It's it. You know? It's just the reality. I love when reality is like a fucking... That is funny. It's always funny. That's like tragedy of reality when it's just a smack in the face. Right to the ground.
I mean, it's
I don't even sympathize with either side. I'm just...
yeah.
There's like
I
a
don't-
very beautiful...
I think they're both in the wrong.
There's
honestly.
a beautiful reality to it. Like everything happens just how it should.
But the thing is like we repeat history over and over and over
know.
again.
This was like
And
100
it's-
years ago we did this.
Yeah, but the thing is like that's why I really wanted to incorporate like the whole mass meditation, like and really make it a thing. But I didn't, because it was just more it was very anxiety ridden for me. I couldn't really handle all the pressure because I'm doing it by myself, you know, and the thing is like I want to transcend.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again,
Right.
and expect something different
Exactly.
to happen.
That's what I'm
We
saying
have
is
to,
that's
like-
the beauty of the force being met with the reciprocal force.
No,
to show that when you try to go by force, what you're going to get is beat.
no.
That might is
I-
right is actually not the right. Like that the way to change things is not through showing through force, but
No, yeah.
using ideas, using the heart, connecting with
using our
people,
heart.
and
and
not
going in-
using physical violence. Because the ultimate lesson is that physical violence is the wrong way to go.
Oh, it's I kind of see this as an example. Like if somebody does something that upsets you or offends you, why the fucking hell would you do the same exact thing that they did to you to make them understand? Like just it's like so you're gonna stoop down to their level in order to make them understand or realize what they put you through when in reality
Exactly.
they're not going to.
Totally.
Yeah, you just need to just like
But in that
basically-
situation, when you have one group showing force, having someone else come up with a blowhorn and just telling them that peace is the answer is not going to change their mind.
well that's the thing is like it's not that's not the way that I think is the way to go about it. Like
Right.
you know there's gonna be people, there is, you know, if things were to really change, there is going to have to be some sort of war, at least, you know,
Right.
if you want to like defend yourself. But there also needs to be like these people in the background, because like mass meditation, it is literally
Right.
proven to reduce like violent crimes in like that area and the
Right.
surrounding area. So that's
But you know what
one
else
other
reduces violent
method.
crime? Is two-parent households. It's statistically true. Two-parent households and also rough and tumble play. Rough and tumble play at a young age, like roughhousing and playing around, reduces violent and just crime in general.
okay.
Because
I
people
can-
learn boundaries at a younger age.
Yeah, learning boundaries, self-respect, respect for
Mhm.
others.
What hurts?
Um,
What hurts is
yes.
really important. Like, it's really
Oh.
important that children learn what hurts early instead of late. You know?
oh yeah, definitely.
When you hurt someone else, when you get hurt, all of that's actually really important. Like, it's actually important that children get hurt. Like,
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
super important for learning in
if-
early childhood development to get hurt a lot of times and know
you
what
have-
exactly what the hell hurt you.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you have everything handed to you and everything is easy, you know, for a long time up until like adulthood, you're gonna be an entitled piece of
We
shit.
have a lot of that going on right now.
Oh yeah, like suffering is
Not
necessary.
hypo not included. Hashtag best mod.
But suffering is necessary. People think that, you know, it's this negative thing that they never want to go through, but it's there's a yin and there's a yang, you know, and like it balances things out. Like,
Right.
you know, it's
This idea though of freaking like deeming ref housing as being some kind of toxic thing is ludicrous. And there is a push for that. Like,
Well,
don't let
define
boys rough and tumble play is just like wrestling and rough housing.
Oh yeah, that's
And
fun.
like
I love
and
that.
when older people, you know, like an older man is picking up children and, you know, throwing them on the couch or whatever, and just like
That's
giving
fun.
them G's basically, and giving them
Yeah.
experience at like flying around and what, you know, where the limits are basically, what
Yeah, you
hurts,
don't
what
wanna
doesn't,
You
all
don't want to
that.
shelter this person from like what's really out there. And I feel like nowadays parents are just like, oh my god, I need to shelter my Billy from like the cruel world out there.
Right.
And then, you know, Billy becomes an adult, goes out into the cruel world and doesn't know what the fuck to do.
He also doesn't know the limits of what hurts other people, because
Yeah.
that's how you learn. That's how you learn what hurts. Like, you have to learn what hurts to know what not to do.
What not to do. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I had to just, growing up as a kid, I didn't, I was, different, nerdy, whatever, unattractive, got bullied a lot in school, had parents who didn't understand me and, actively put me down until I was what they wanted me to be, which I never became. And so it, or my mom is bipolar and I have to be the bigger person, when she's going through episodes and I'm like 11, 12, and when I'm not the bigger person, I'm the one in trouble, not, the adult
Sure.
in the situation.
It's that dynamic. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
I'm a natural scapegoat, just like
I
in
mean-
general for like social situations. I'm like one of the
I
first
mean-
go-to. Well, it was Aslan's fault because he was there. That's pretty much is
yeah.
usually the reason. I'm just around. Oh,
With
okay,
my-
sorry. Sorry,
With
I
my
was here.
parents, I was a scapegoat, but they would get in fights all the time and they got divorced for a little bit. And my dad straight up told me, because when they got in fights, they blamed it on me. They're like, you're the reason why we're like this to each other.
Yeah.
When no, you just, mom,
No, you're
a
just
piece of
not
shit,
developing.
Dad, you're like, you have zero empathy, Dad, Mom,
Your psychic development is stunted, and you just gotta keep trucking. Take some mushrooms. That's what I say. 5 dread grams right there, handing to him.
Well, I mean, it made me grow up to be very like insecure, and I put myself in
sorry.
situations. Well, it's okay. Like I'm thankful for these. Like I don't want it to be like, oh, you feel sorry for me. Like I'm glad that they happened because I don't think I'd be as kind of a person as I am, or aware, understanding, if I didn't. And I understand that, like, these are all part of, maybe the lessons that I
Wow.
need. Yeah.
And look at this. Alex said some cool shit in the chat. Suffering leads to growth and relief, or it leads to more suffering. And I think that's very true. Like,
It is.
and when it leads to more suffering, in my opinion, it seems to be because someone has a reason. Like someone taught them something. Whether it's a racist reason or a religious reason or whatever, you know what I mean? Like someone, like if people don't have some reason to blame it on in the first place, usually they come around to the fact that it's them. But if
Well,
they
yeah,
have something prescribed to them that this is the reason, whether it's the patriarchy or the white supremacy or the Jews or whatever it is, and it, like, or the Illuminati, whatever thing it is, there's a beacon of blame, it allows people
Well-
to not develop that
Well,
personal
I mean,
thing.
I think you're doomed to go through the suffering over and over again until you actually, learn from the situation. And it's easier to blame what you're feeling or the way that you act on your environment. So
Right.
you let the suffering happen because then you don't have to take as much responsibility
But
for
then
your
you're
actions.
just actually doing it to yourself.
Oh yeah, you are doing it to yourself for sure.
And so that's where the victim complex comes
Mhm.
in. And that's just
Oh,
such
yeah.
a deep, and so I have to empathize with people who are in in that mode, who are experiencing life in that way, where they feel they are a victim of whatever it is,
Oh yeah. I mean,
because they feel it, they believe it's true, so it's true for them,
they do.
for whatever
It's
reason.
like, yeah, I mean, you don't have to grow. You don't have to see yourself for the mistakes that you've made. um, you know, and so it's like kind of, you're not even really getting much. You're sacrificing more than what you're getting out of it. But at the end of
Mhm.
the day, it's so much easier to blame your sorrows on something that has nothing to do with you.
And that actually
Um,
segues really nicely into the free speech thing, because a lot of survivors of different, horrific things have given testimony that comedians who tell jokes about those things and allow them to laugh about it actually help them take the power away from the event
yeah,
and take it to themselves.
it gives you more. Yeah, it gives you more strength. It helps you look at it from not like that victim, kind of standpoint. But people love doing that because people love being the victim. They love it
Mhm.
more than they hate it for some fucking reason. And to actually be responsible, and I get it. Like, God forbid, I put some actual work and effort into something and be successful. I'm weirdly terrified of that. I'm terrified of my own potential because I know.
Oh, we all are.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm kind of riding my wave right now, but that's just me. I'm actually very comfortable with what I have to offer. But it's taken me a long
I.
time. I'm 34 years old now. Very
Oh,
old.
okay, yeah. I am.
And it
Well,
took me a while.
yeah.
You'll get there.
It's Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I'm like 26, and I'm like,
You'll get there. No, when I was 26, I still was trying to figure it out.
Okay. Fuck yeah. That makes me. Probably brings the topic into light with a comfortable tolerance.
I think Alex is also my age. I do have to take a whiz again. I'll be
Okay.
right back.
I have to pee too, actually.
Okay,
Should
double.
I?
Oh no, I'm gonna go to my screen. We're gonna take a whiz break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Got the be right back screen.
BRB.
Alex, you're the shit. Keep
Huh?
on with them. Keep on with them cool questions, Alex.
Hell yeah, dig.
I'm back. He's 36. Damn, you're even older than me. I thought I was the oldest one around. I'm the second oldest guy and girl around. Oh my god. Whoosh.
I'm playing Dead by Daylight right now, right?
Yeah, what?
And I just got a 4K, so I managed to
Yeah,
kill
we're
all of the
drinking.
survivors.
At
And
the same
like,
time.
one of them was Salty because I managed to kill him.
She's
But,
coming back.
Hey, I'm actually
You're ready
I'm
to
gonna
go.
smoke a cigarette if that's cool with you.
Do it.
Okay, fuck yeah. I see you smoking. I'm like, oh, damn that nicotine.
Do what you need to do.
Okay, fuck yeah. I'm a power smoke.
No, you don't have to.
Huh? Okay.
You just do you. You chill out. I'll make myself big for a sec. Motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm being blind.
Whoa. Tell me about Dead by Daylight, Kaipo.
Well, essentially it's a 4-person survivor team versus a 1-person killer. And like there's different killers of different abilities or different speeds, things like that. And the survivors are practically the same, but they're all the same speed. But they
Wait,
have
they're the same speed as the...
no. The killer's
Hunter?
always faster. No, the killer's always going to be faster than the survivors. All of the survivors are the same speed.
Okay.
And like there's perks. Each character has 3 personal perks that you can get teachable after you get them to level 30, 35 and 40, depending on which one it is. And like essentially the survivors just have to like pretty much like repair generators, try not to get killed by the killer, because they need to power 4 generators to power the exit gates, and the killer has to prevent that. And like the killer that I play as, the doctor, his ability is called Carter Spark, and essentially like he can zap people with electricity.
Why aren't you just practicing your Rocket League skills right now?
Because Rocket League's ass.
I think you should be practicing to get to GC.
Never gonna happen.
It can. What if I get better than you, Kaipo? Then what?
Lord,
What would you do?
nothing, because I know you won't.
What if it happened? It could in the next month. What if I just keep practicing and the next thing you know, you're losing every time?
It took me years to get where I am.
I've been playing for a year.
Yeah, but I've been playing the game since 2015, when the game came out.
So in 5 years.
And then in 5 years, I'll be a lot better than I am.
You'll probably have better things to do.
Oh.
I hope not. I hope we're still friends in 5 years. That'll be fun. Friendships are better when they last.
I just don't like people in general.
Crazy.
I'm more of a keep to myself kind of
Alex,
person.
what a nice compliment she gave there.
Right, 1 second. I'm gonna leave the voice chat and then rejoin because your camera's not showing up.
It doesn't. It won't. It's not gonna. I'm using it straight to OBS.
Oh, so that's why it says it's there, but it's not.
It's Weird Wednesday. It's Weird Wednesday. It's Weird Wednesday. We're on a break. Hey!
I'm the biggest dumbass, by the way. Remember how I said I cleaned out my grinder and I needed to find a pipe? Well, I made one out of an old latte can, but my dumbass forgot I have tobacco. so I could have rolled a split.
Dude, what did I do?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh,
I
I
really
fucked up. I fucked up royally. Wait, no, I fixed it. Woof. That's Landy's show. We chillin'. All right, Kaipo, tell us the story.
I don't know.
Oh, how many feminists does it take to screw in a light bulb?
I don't know.
That's not funny. It's my best joke. On the Icelandic show. Shit gets super weird, you know.
I hate the Survivor. They brought a fucking worst map offering.
Alex, you still there?
What?
Marijuana. Here comes batshit crazy sane. Up in the membrane. Coming back at your life. We can't see your video.
You can't.
We can't. Oh no, I can't see ya. I can't see your video. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
For some reason on Twitch is saying,
Be right back. Hey, welcome back.
Yeah.
Look at me go. That was nice of Panda to raid me earlier. That was our last notification.
Okay.
I've put great time and energy into getting a nice hospitable place for us to have crazy I was just thinking about all the stuff we were just talking about. I was like, damn, we were just talking about some crazy shit.
We were.
I was just thinking about it. I was like, whoa.
It's very cathartic. honestly.
It is great. Oh my god.
Yeah.
My heart I cried a little bit.
No.
No, I'm serious.
Oh shit. While I was gone. No,
No,
seriously.
not while you're gone. While we were talking earlier.
What?
Yeah.
Really? Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
I didn't know it was that big a deal, but yeah. I cry easily though.
You know, I love emotions and feeling them, you know,
Cause like,
deeply.
yeah. I think
it-
my brain is like wired up, so some intellectual ideas also are like wired with emotional qualities.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. I mean, there was a point in time when I lived in Washington, not when I moved to Kent, because when I lived in Federal Way, I had my hippie roommates and, you know, did DMT and shit and really connected with myself and things. But then when I moved to Kent, it was in this very, like, toxic environment, and so I kind of shut my emotions off in order, as like a way to protect myself. And it was really hard for me to cry. I didn't cry for like maybe a couple years, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It was hard for me to cry, even when I was just like numb to things, and I was even like, I miss feeling something so strongly, um, you know, to the point where like I cry about it. Um, Even with in terms of like sadness or whatever, I love feeling some things so deeply. It doesn't always have to be a good emotion. Um,
Well,
and yeah,
yeah. It reminds me of something Carl Jung said. He said that people think that emotions are the opposite of reason and intellect, but it's not true. That the reason that when people are in emotional states, they act in irrational ways is because processing emotions takes so much intellectual work. It like takes so much thinking and processing that there's none left for them to at their disposal to make good decisions in the real
yeah,
time, because all of their intellectual properties are being used to you know, like, process the emotions of it. So that's why,
yeah,
so he says it's a misunderstanding that it's the opposite. It's more that it's actually of great intellect. It's like of a great demand of the intellect.
I mean, I feel like through, you know, feeling, you can really understand things. And I just want to take the time to acknowledge what Crazy No Shoe
Oh, wait, what'd she say?
has said. Girl,
Oh, she
if you're
said a nice
26,
thing, yeah.
yeah, with this level of understanding, you're going to get very far in your journey by my age. But I mean, thank you. That's very makes me feel a lot better about, you know, where I'm going, because it's hard to always put this into your day-to-day life. But one thing that my grandpa Poppy told me, and that's why I have like this flower on my chest, because I keep him close to my heart, is he said it doesn't matter where you're at, it matters where you're going. Which I feel that, and people are always like, they just see where they're at and that it's not good enough, instead of
Right.
like, you know, seeing it life as a journey, and it's like where you're going that really matters.
There's one that goes really well with that, like in tandem, that I use. It doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you don't stop.
Yeah, it's
If you
yeah,
combine those two, you know what I mean? Somewhere, like, if you
yeah,
combine those two rules, that's actually a really good trajectory for life.
it is. It really is. But
be
It's
going
hard to-
somewhere, and even if you slow down, you know, like even when the obstacles are in your way and everything gets totally waylaid and you have to go start from zero, itsy bitsy spider style,
Well, yeah. I mean,
don't
you
stop.
have to.
Just
Don't
keep going.
stop. You have to fail in order to learn. You know.
Exactly. Don't give up.
Yeah, definitely. It's all part of the experience, and unfortunately, our belief systems, maybe on a more subtle level, are kind of based around focusing on, all of the things that we could have be doing instead of what we are doing, like, and it holds us back. Like we kind of fantasize on like how great we can be instead of how great we are.
Well, it's better to have failed 100 times and tried than done nothing.
Exactly. And like it's hard to break out of your comfort zone, and you have to in order to evolve. But it's easy to stick with what you know. But I was even talking to my friends about this today. It's like you'll never get to know, if you just stick to what you're used to and what you're comfortable with, you'll never get to experience something greater, that you could, really enjoy. And so you're just kind of living the same life over and over again every single day.
Right.
And that's where that like kind of lack of purpose comes from.
Totally.
Is
I
that
mean, a
fear.
reason to listen even. It's like not even a reason to live, it's a reason to listen. Because
It
there's so
is.
much around us to listen to. There's the plants, there's the animals, there's the spirits. There's all of these things living around us that we just like, that's quote unquote society or whatever, it gives no attention to. Like there's just no reason, like there's no mind in their world for it. And it's just,
No, it's really sad.
It's super
Yeah.
sad. No, it makes me.
It
That's
really
what like one of the
is.
things that make me crying early, man. It makes me cry. Like I'm that like fucking archetype of the Indian with the one tear, dripping down his face because he sees because seeing it, like seeing the reality of what our world is becoming is sad. It really
It is sad. And like to me, what is
I don't even want to be a
like-
downer. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be fucking
no,
fun.
yeah. And the hardest part for me is like I see it, but I'm too scared to do something about it. When I could be, like with the whole, even just the whole mass meditation thing. Like, if I stuck to that, it may have made, even if it was small or minuscule, some sort of imprint, on just society, even just in that area, or if it like, really stuck or kind of went on to other people. They see it on social media
That's
or
what
whatever.
made me think of the Black Southern Baptist Church. When you're talking about that, it's like probably those people are actually more. I'm not saying maybe I'm wrong, so I'm not like a fucking expert on this. But if I had to guess, they're actually more fulfilled from that experience
Oh yeah.
than the political revolutionaries are from doing their
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Because there's a whole like divine element to the church singing.
I mean, they're like.
It's just beyond. I mean, that is some incredible. I don't know if you know about those the music they sing and the harmonies, but it's just.
Oh yeah.
It's next level. Like
It's powerful.
you can hardly get better music. Pretty much. I mean,
like-
you could pretty much not get better singing.
It's
period.
euphoric, and you really feel this connectedness.
What's up, Isaac?
And it's good to feel this connectedness with not only your peers, but with something on a deeper
Right.
level.
Just singing
And-
together. I mean,
Yeah.
even if it doesn't matter if it's fucking, it could be Green Day, a bunch of people singing it together is powerful. Like it moves the
Yeah.
spirit, for sure.
It's people connecting, you know.
You know, and on that
you
note,
know.
like the Christmas songs that Christian churches sing, the old ones are very deep and moving. All of them are like very strong to me. I find them
It's,
super powerful.
Oh, okay. I mean, I did.
Oh, Holy
you know,
Night.
Okay.
O Come Emmanuel. Some of those are deep. They're just the music. Like, you know, get rid of the lyrics. You know what I mean? Lyrics aside, doesn't even matter. Religion aside, the actual notes, like the singing, the songs are beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's
Undeniably beautiful.
it's powerful. Like, you know, I feel like words are beautiful and they can maybe help us get a better understanding
Right.
of things. But when you take words away and you just focus on feelings,
The music too.
then
like
you
music
start to
is
get.
a special thing.
Oh, it is. It is because it helps you like.
It's
It
beyond
brings
feeling.
about.
It's beyond words for sure.
It is beyond words. You have
Like,
to go
oh my
beyond
God,
words.
that song. Do you know that song, "Oh Holy Night"?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So there's a part where it goes to the minor part of "Fall on your knees and hear the angel voices." Do you know that part? It's like in a minor, goes into a minor key. Fall on your knees and hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine. That song. That is so. It's
Yeah.
very moving to me. Like that. Just the notes themselves. Take away the lyrics. Take away the religion. The context. The actual song is fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like it's next level.
It's been a while since I've listened to that song, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I do know it, but, you know, I guess not that well.
That song,
I'll
like,
have to listen to it again.
I have an idea to make a whole movie about that song.
Okay.
So that's how much I like that song.
Fuck yeah. I admire that. It's nice to.
There's a
like-
beautiful story behind that song. Can I tell it to you real quick?
Yeah, of course.
So, the lyrics were written by this guy in France who was part of like their church, their Catholic church or whatever. And he got with his friend who is a Jew who played the violin, and the guy who played the violin was very talented, and he wrote the song and like the changes and the melody for the lyrics. And it was a very well received and like, well, you know, a nice song that a lot of people sang. But that guy who wrote it left the church, and they found out the guy who made the music was Jewish, and they just sort of like banned the song. But people still sang it on their own. And then
Yeah.
about 20 years later, after it got banned, 30 years later, so it was in World War I. And on Christmas Eve, which is where we're almost at right now,
Yeah.
the entire French army and all of the trenches started singing "O Holy Night," the song, in unison. And sorry, I'm gonna start crying again. The song was so moving and so loud that the German army heard it. Yeah. And they started singing one of their Christmas songs. And they called a truce, a ceasefire for the day of Christmas.
I remember that. I remember hearing about that. And that's what's so beautiful is like things like that. And that's the thing about like humanity and its potential. Like, you know, even in times of war, like it gives me chills. Like something so beautiful as like sound, or even
Mm.
just like the all around feeling, like, when um the French army was singing the song, it gave them
Right.
this strong, powerful feeling of just like connectedness, love, and that extended to, the like basically the opposition,
Right.
and
You feel
it's,
it.
yeah, you feel it so much, like to the point where like it affected them, and they made a truce because of it. And it's beautiful, and like even like that's why I feel like meditation is so powerful, because even them singing that song together and
Mm-hmm.
feeling this like love was a form of meditation.
Right.
And like, at the time it even stopped,
And even the
you
other
know
way that singing is probably one of the best ways to get people together.
oh yeah.
It's through song, in a
Oh
positive
yeah,
way.
because
Because
through music.
chanting, all the chanting and stuff is not the same as song.
Yeah.
Saying slogans that have like a political connotation aren't the same as singing together a real
No.
song. A song that is, and I know it sounds cheesy, and it's so funny because, like I said, I'm not even Christian. Like, I grew up in the most secular leftist world ever, but like singing a song in fucking like reverence and in the glory of God or whatever, in as hokey as that sounds, is fucking dope. Just doing
I
that.
mean,
Whatever it is,
I
whatever their concept of God is, I don't care. Just doing that is fucking awesome.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
super hard, too. You can't
I
just
think
come
it's
upon
just
that.
coming together, and like God is not like in just the religious type. It's something
Totally.
beyond, you know, beyond words. It's something that involves feeling, and when all these people are connecting to something that is, maybe I guess like a higher power, um, um, a deeper understanding, and they do it in unison, like it's not only does this bring together this feeling of like community, but
Mm-hmm.
of love and like understanding. And people think of love as like this kind of cheesy
Right.
storybook sort of thing, when it's so much more than that.
Well, like in
um,
Greece, in Greek language, there were many different words for different types of love.
yeah.
Like,
And
yeah. I mean, I think of in that context, like religious love, where it's like we, a group of people coming together and having the humility to recognize that there's something greater than themselves, which binds all of them together into something that can be more be beneficial for everyone around them. Like
oh yeah,
if they focus on that, that's what I always think of as love, like communal love. Like
communal love,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, like wanting the best for everyone around you, and being willing to take a bullet if it or whatever, being willing to stand up
Yeah.
for what's right, even if it means your life. But that's kind of a little bit more. That's like I said, I'm a traditionalist, and I really do believe that there's a genetic component to that too. Like we are designed to, as men, we're designed to protect women and children. Like it's part of our instinct. Like it's not it's very unconscious. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's something,
it
and
is.
I know that a lot of men abuse women and children too. So it's not like without exception. But I think that
Yeah,
a lot of
there's.
men really do have a strong instinct to like protect women and children, and it shouldn't be a bad thing, like seen as a
Well,
bad
I
thing.
mean, I think, definitely men, yes, but also women too. Like,
Yeah,
it's
well,
very
definitely.
much, you know, part of our instinct, like, definitely when I see somebody who's suffering, or, who needs my help, or has less, opportunities, privileges,
Well, I'd say
whatever.
that's even more common with women, or on the average, like slanted towards women. between
Yeah,
men is the willingness to take care of an animal or a child or an elderly person.
Yeah,
But there's
we
like
have
science
that.
behind that.
Yeah, it's definitely instinctual.
On average, women are higher in a trait called agreeableness,
Agreeableness.
which is where it's a thing that you need to take care of an infant or someone who's sick or elderly. Cause say with a infant, the infant is never wrong. Like there's no room for an infant to be wrong. They just are what they are, and they need what they need.
Yes.
And they're right about what they need. So you need a person with high agreeableness to take care of an infant. Because high agreeableness makes it so that they're going to take the infant at their word and give them what they need without conflict. Whereas someone who's low agreeableness, and same with elderly or injured, people who need extra help, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And on average, and it's not to say that, it's like one of those things where people are like, so what are you saying, all women? No, not all women, just on average, between the two sexes, on average, women are higher in that trait.
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, we'd have to be in order
to take care of infants and injured men.
Yeah.
Because the men come home injured a lot, too, and that's part of the...
Oh, yeah, definitely. They come home injured or, like,
Well, and you look at the stats today, and it's crazy. I mean, like, workplace fatalities, 98% men. Casualties of war, 98, 99% men. Like, all the different things where men are... it's the same today as it was 100,000 years ago. Like,
oh, yeah, I mean, men...
that dynamic has never changed.
That's
one thing you never hear feminists are harping on about, though, is they're not trying to get more workplace fatalities for women, because we've got like a long way to go if we're going to equal that one out. Ladies, line up. Get on the oil rigs quick.
Right? I mean...
It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Because we have a society that still works that way. Like...
Well, yeah.
But how can you say it's a bad thing? I just don't get the idea that you can say it's bad. Because we're the ones dying. You know what I mean? It's like, not you, the proverbial you, not you personally.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, but the thing also is like, I feel like in an oil rig, a woman is a lot less likely to get hired than a man. You know.
There's also probably less women even applying for the job.
Yeah.
In the first place. I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah. Maybe more than we're led to believe. But
I know a badass See, I know a lady who's an exception. She works on one of the fishing boats in Alaska seasonally. I mean, she's like buff too, So like, there's always the exception.
Oh,
it's just more of an average thing. She's one of the only ladies. She's told me she's one of the only ladies on the boat.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think it's like, there's always that outlier.
Yeah, there's always that,
Which is the cool thing about freedom, right? Like the idea of like people being free to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
I think, love it too.
Yeah. Conceptually, that's an awesome idea. I love it. And as long as it doesn't harm anybody, people should be free to do anything they seek,
Yeah, as long as it's not like detrimental to anybody else. I mean, even if it's detrimental to yourself, if you want to fucking hurt yourself, I mean, I don't agree with it, but that's all you, that's your prerogative, that's your decision, and there's like, at the end of the day, there's not much I can really do to change you from, bettering yourself or having more respect for yourself. It's something that you have to do on your own.
I think it's worse to try to change someone else.
Oh, yeah.
Than it is. I mean, because we should try to change ourselves, right? Like,
Yeah.
how much?
This-
There's so much work for me to do on myself.
But
I'm
we're
an
like living
incomplete human.
Oh, me too. And I've definitely lived vicariously through others, you know, instead of helping myself. I help other people out because it's a lot easier to look
What
at
are you, a
other
Virgo?
people's.
What's your
Yeah,
birthday?
how the I am a Virgo. How the fuck How did you know that?
Just after a
I have
few
it
things you
tattooed
said.
on me.
I didn't see it. Just after a few things you said throughout the conversation,
I am
I surmised.
Well, yeah, you are very right. I am a Virgo. September 14th.
Okay, so yeah, service to others. That's and you're right in the middle too. So
Yeah, I am like I'm not one of those like clean nitpicky Virgos. Very
no,
chill,
but you sacrifice. You give service to others. That's your MO as your
It is.
sign there. So
It is. I mean,
prevailing theme. I'm the
I've
one
always-
after you. I'm the Libra.
Oh, really? What do you
On
mean
the
by
last
that?
day, on the day before Scorpio.
Oh, you are. Yeah, you are. You are. So what? You're like.
I totally just guessed your sign. In like 1992 in a bar, that would have been a for sure bang. Like you would have been, I would have been for
Oh
sure.
yeah. Let me tell you what. I'm
if I
impressed.
guessed your sign in a bar like in 1992, that would be, I'd be just, you'd be like following me out the door.
I mean, you're the first person to actually guess that correctly because most people think, they don't think I'm a Virgo. I don't know if I just don't give off typical Virgo vibes or whatever, but you're the only person to actually guess it correctly.
That's why I do tarot readings and shit like that too. I'm kind of a, what do you call it, a cultist, a minor.
I am.
Minor.
I'm
occultist.
actually getting into tarot readings. I just got some oracle cards, and I I try to connect with my higher self. I know it may sound cheesy, but I know it exists. I do have an issue with, I don't know, believing in myself or something.
That's a Virgo thing too. It's like a self-deprecation thing. I like it though. It's kind of it's kind of not kind of cool.
I mean, it keeps me, I guess, humble. Like I'd never be like full of
Down to
myself,
earth,
thank
I
God.
think, is the
Yeah, down to earth. I'm
down to
definitely a
earth
very
is the phrase.
down to earth person. So are you.
Well,
you know,
Libras are very like analytical and airy, but we're very truthful. Like we get in trouble a lot. And I'm also born in 1986, which is fire tiger.
Oh.
And tiger is a lot like a Libra. They're like they're like against the status quo, always like playing devil's advocate, same as a Libra, that kind of thing. And fire is that element.
I'm a water cock. I know either water dog, but even in my
Well, that probably levels you out. Water dog.
I actually water dog. I am.
Water dog. That's a good rapper name. Water dog.
But even in my astrology, like Western astrology birth chart, a majority of my signs are water. I'm a very watery.
Yeah, I got some Pisces and some Aquarius in you, or what?
Oh
Or
yeah.
not Aquarius is air. Pisces and the Cancer and
Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio.
and Scorpio.
I think.
Scorpio moon.
There's a lot of earth, water. In terms of elements, it goes water's the most, earth, air, and then fire. I have fire in me, but there's not a lot.
So you need someone else to like instigate motion. Like left on your own devices, you'll probably be relatively stagnant from that, if you have that.
I mean, I've gotten a little bit better. Like before, especially, I've definitely over the years, I've learned to call people out, be more comfortable with myself, and when someone does something shitty, I've definitely played some power moves of just calling them out on their shit, but in a way where I stay calm, cool, and collected,
Right.
and I just let them make themselves the fucking idiots. Or, you know, like here's an example. Oh my god. I was at oh, it's so great. I have more than one. It's not something that I did until very recently, after like a. Well, I'll get into that maybe another time. But so I was at a bar and there's this guy named Vinny. Total piece of shit. Always been
Piece of shit, Vinny. I'm just gonna call him that from now on. You can come in my chat, Vinny. Come give me a
piece
fucking
of
lesson.
shit, Vinny.
Roll them dice.
And you know, I hadn't seen him for a long time, and you know, I like to give people the opportunity and like, you know, give maybe he's changed. You know, people grow, they learn.
Sure.
No, he didn't. You
I'm
know,
a
I
drunk
could tell
asshole.
right away. Well, I mean, you know, I'm a drunk dick too sometimes, but this guy is just total next level piece of shit. And
In what way? I mean,
could
what does he
just,
do? Like, just say things that you don't like, or what? I mean, people don't like,
oh,
or does
here's
he
an
actually do
example.
things? Does he touch people?
And this is the thing that I called him out for. I mean, here's one like less bad example, but it kind of tells you. But I'll use both.
All right.
And the second example is what I called him out for. But the first example is, you know, is at a party, and he, you know, it's kind of more of a kickback. My friend Robert is on shrooms, and just really fucked up, and he's in his room. Everybody else is chilling in the living room, just drinking, hanging out. And I pick up my friend Robert's bong, and it kind of like slips out of my hands a little bit, and so it hits the table and just shatters completely.
Oh no.
And then Vinny, he says, okay, like Robert's on shrooms, don't tell anyone, you know, like it's gonna fuck him up. It's gonna just be quiet, and we'll tell him the next day when he can handle it better. Motherfucker, right after he says that, goes into Robert's room, and you
Same
know
guy,
he
Vinny?
riled him up. Same guy.
The same
He
guy who
goes into
just said that.
Mm-hmm.
Which sounded like
Said,
a
"Don't tell
legit. That sounded like the right thing to do.
Oh,
What you just
yep.
said.
But he went into Robert's room, fucking told him, and you know he told him in a way that riled him up and got him
Your
fucking
bong
pissed
shattered.
off. Yep.
Same guy who said
And
that?
Same fucking
See, that
guy.
gives me a different. That gives me a really. That's how. Can you? No, you can't. You don't know. You don't know how. How. What is that level of like contradiction?
He wanted to be the one to do it. He loves riling people up.
So
causing
then what
drama.
happened? Did he actually care that much? He's on mushrooms.
No.
He really didn't care.
He's on mushrooms, and Vinny, he's a very like manipulative. Ugh, I can't. Well, you get what I'm saying. Manipulative guy.
That's funny because that's the definition is to be able to change air.
I mean, well, he could be a total piece of shit and piss somebody off.
What's at Milo?
But then he can make it into a joke, and so he makes you laugh. So people are kind of like okay with him being a piece of shit because he made a fucking funny ass joke or something. And so right after he says that, he goes and tells Robert, riles him up, and then Robert comes out all fucking, who broke my bong? You know, all fucking pissed and shit. He's like, you know, I need to know right now, like, who fucking broke my bong? And everybody was quiet. Nobody didn't say anything. And me being the person that I am, I'm like, well, he's gonna find out eventually. And I'd rather him hear it from me than somebody else be like, she did it. But I know no one's gonna say anything. But I also at the same time don't want to put everybody else through that fucking shitty situation of, like either he kicks everybody else out or me out. So I said I did it. And he's like, get out. And so that's just one of the things that just kind of shows what kind of person
Right,
this
I
guy
get it.
is.
And then you did some other shit you called him out for.
So when I was 14, this is the fucked up shit. This is really fucked up. When I was 14, he was about 18, 19. I hung out with older people when I was around that age for a good minute. And it was him and two other guys. And, I used alcohol and drinking as a way to escape from my problems. And true that. And so I, Vinny and Kevin and his brother, these guys that are 18, 19, they invite me over and they're just feeding me alcohol, trying to get me really fucked up and drunk. And at some point, once I reached past a certain level, like to where I could kind of remember what happened, but I blacked out at some point, they were just, taking advantage of me sexually. I don't want to go into like specifics. I don't want to get like too depressing, but yeah, they were doing some fucked up shit to me, and while I was just like, eh. And Vinny recorded it. He egged it on the whole time. He was the one who like initiated it, egged it on, recorded it, and then not only did he do that, but he sent it to like a whole bunch of people. So instead of people seeing it and being like, oh my god, these guys are taking advantage of this really drunk underage girl, they're like, wow, you're a fucking slut. And
That's a community right there.
huh?
That's a fucked up community right there.
Oh yeah, it really, it not only did it fuck with me like mentally and emotionally, just from the situation alone, but just it affected my social life as well. And he resurfaced it another time, like years later, so people saw it again and thought that it just happened.
The same video?
Same fucking video.
Wow.
Years later.
That's.
Like
Do you know there's
senior-
laws that the revenge porn laws are serious on that? Like that's actually that's a felony.
Well, it's very much like just it's child porn basically.
No, but
it's,
you could end that guy's life right now if you wanted to.
why I don't have a video anymore. It's years after that, but I saw him at the bar. Not that long ago. And when they opened back up, and I'm with my friend Emerson, and he's just talking her up the whole time, like, oh, sucking up to her, and I'm like,
What's up, Mama
Vinny.
Loco?
And then he goes to me and he's like, hey, what's up, Shelly? And just kind of trying to put me down constantly throughout the night, because he could do that to me when I was younger, but not now. I'm like older and I don't take that shit anymore. So at some point I was like in front of a whole bunch of people, it's fucking major power move, like, hey Vinny, do you remember that one time, when I was 14 and you're 19 and you did all this fucked up shit? And I just basically am like, you remember this?
Mm-hmm.
You doing this really fucked up thing? And called him out for it, and he immediately was taken aback by it, because most people don't call him out on his shit, especially not in a way where he can't easily get himself out of it.
Right.
And so he immediately was like, well, you suck Cody's dick, and I just remember, just, you're a slut. Trying to like say shit to like piss me off, so I get mad, and what I had said becomes less valid. That didn't work. That didn't work. I'm like, A, you're making yourself look more stupid, and I'm keeping my calm. Like, I know what happened in this situation. So the fact that I even just kept my calm and saw him, and his actions for what they really were and what he was trying to do, didn't it didn't give him the opportunity to get out of it. And he was expecting a certain kind of response from me, like an emotional response, and an irrational response from what he was saying, and he didn't get it. He didn't fucking get it. So he's panicking, and he comes back, and he walks away, and then he comes back again, and he starts off with like, hey, I'm really sorry for what I did. Like, it's not okay. Like, I'm trying to change myself as a person.
Said all that to you?
And at first I was like,
you think he was just fucking trying to play damage control, or think he's really changed?
Oh, but here's where it gets better. Then he goes,
sounds like damage control.
But I have to live with this every single day. I have to live with what I did every single day. And I'm like, okay, so now you're victimizing yourself. And so he started.
You fucked up, motherfucker.
Yeah, you fucked up. So he owned up to it, but then he tried to victimize himself, and I think to get me emotional. And then he starts off with, "I'm sorry, what I did was fucked up. I regret it." And he ends with, "But at the end of the day, I didn't do anything wrong." and he was just trying to get a rise out of me, and he never was able to. And I was just letting him make an idiot out of himself, basically. So I didn't even really have to do anything. And,
that's crazy.
Before I would just kind of ignore it and like, let this person.
And I remember, dude, I remember I was and I'm not, believe me, I'm not trying to the last thing I ever want to do is pat myself on the back. Okay. But I remember in middle school and high school some of the things that boys did to girls. And while I never took part in it, I also never did anything about it.
It's
but I've always had that kind of neutral. Like I said, I'm in Libra. It's not my job to like change people's what they do. Because I think that is actually the root of evil. Like,
I'm not gonna change what people do, but if somebody does something really fucked up, I think it's good to call them out for it.
Well, I've saved a few people. I was one I was leaving work in Portland, and a guy was getting the shit kicked out of him by this other dude. And I just walked around the corner because it's late at night downtown. And I just ran up on the guy. He was about to curb stomp this dude. He was about to stomp him.
Yeah.
I just ran up at him and I said, "Hey." And the guy, he looked up at me and he ran off. And it worked.
Yeah, because most people don't, even if they're, acting with violence, most people don't do anything. They walk by and they're like, I don't want to endanger myself, so I'm not going to do anything. And so people get away with it. It enables that behavior.
Right. And I might be wrong and I might be right, but my boundary is at physical, not at verbal.
Oh yeah.
Like, people are allowed to say whatever the hell they want, but as soon as someone's actually hurting someone, that's when.
Oh yeah, physically, definitely.
That's the second. Anywhere where the physical starts is a no-go zone.
That's
but
one
verbal,
thing that, like,
I say whatever you want.
Yeah, say whatever you want.
Because here's the thing. Say you're a dude. Put yourself in say you're 160 say you're 260 and 6'4" and a dude, muscly. Okay? And some other guy says to you, "Hey, buddy, what you looking at?" Or like starts to make something with you, right? And keeps egging you on or whatever. Like, it's your choice if you're going to actually go do something about it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's like there's this whole I don't know. That's all I'm talking about. It's like there's a difference between words and violence, and I think that trying to like blur that line at all is actually a trick. Like it's a way for people to justify manipulation and bullshit, basically.
I mean, it kind of just reminds me of like many times where I've seen, you know, somebody getting like the shit beat out of them for like no reason. And there's just like, you know, dozens of people surrounding them. And they could help. Yeah. But instead they're recording it. And to me, I'm like, it pisses me off. I'm like, what?
That's fucked up, man.
Why are there all these people and no one's doing anything? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like,
some
why
kind
is
of
nobody?
honor.
I think it's just I don't think it's necessarily honor. It's just
I mean honor for like the two people fighting.
No, because I mean there are times where it's like, you know, this person needs help. You can separate this. This doesn't need to happen. Or somebody is just, you know, being bullied or whatever. And people rather sit there and watch because it's entertaining. They don't really.
You gotta
like,
realize.
some people...
So, what? Like out of a group, right? Say a group of 20. Your chances of having out of 20 people, you might have one on average.
Yeah.
Who is at all physically capable of, you know what I mean, intervening. Because it does take a large, it takes a large person to do it.
But if there's 20 people surrounding, you can all get together and stop it. It's not like relying on this one person, and that's the thing that's the most upsetting to me.
That's the thing, though. It does. I mean, I'm not saying this is my opinion. I think this is kind of just on. Well, maybe it's my opinion, but I think it's more just based on logistics or whatever. Like,
but the thing
it takes
is,
a big person to do that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, not even physically.
Like that's why they have bouncers. That's why they hire like big people at bars for that exact reason. Is because that kind of shit starts happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's stuff to deal with like that, and they are able to stop it. And that what's important, I think, as a lesson from that is that it actually takes something that's not, you know, theoretical. It takes something physical sometimes to stop something.
It does take, definitely, of course, in that situation, it takes something physical. But the
like
thing
sometimes
is
it takes
like,
a big ass dude to go in there and grab the guy and fucking, you know what I mean, throw him off the side. Like usually when I've seen those work out for the better, it's because there was a bouncer, and there was some guy who was like, no, fuck this. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. Fuck you. You're on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, boom, calling the cops. I've seen that a couple times where it's worked out great. In like, as far as nobody got hurt.
Or even if, like, there's a group of people and no one's doing anything. And then someone finally, you know, who are surrounding, you know, somebody terrorizing maybe this innocent person. Here's that example of that.
Dude, I saw so much of that in Portland.
And the thing is, it's like, if no one's doing anything, they're not going to do anything. But the minute they see somebody else doing that, you know, just somebody else going up into like the situation and helping them, like the person who's helpless out, then everybody else is going to kind of like, not everybody else, but there are people who are going to see that and be like, okay, let me get in on this. Like sometimes it takes that one person to kind of like influence others to like do the same. Sometimes they need somebody else to kind of give them that example, even though they know what to do. They just don't want to be the one to do it.
I mean, in Portland, the mayor ordered the police not to even intervene. So people are just getting sent to the hospital. And the police were just watching. And it's all because of ideology. Like, it was all because they believe that, and I'm not even, I'll just try to simplify it, but it's not that overly simplified. They believed Antifa is good and the Proud Boys are bad. It's pretty much, that was the extent of the reasoning. And so the police should just stand there and watch, no matter what happens. And we'll just let them fight. And it's just not good reasoning. I just don't think it's sound. It's not good logic.
No, it's not, and that's why you need some sort of element to kind of even it out with the whole
It's so funny because when Trump said there are quote unquote good people on both sides, to me that's a more true statement than the stance that the mayor of Portland has.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
I do agree with that quote.
That neutrality is actually more important to me than. I think it's actually the side, taking a side is where, that's, I guess, I'm trying to make it a long story out of a short point. Taking a side is worse than staying in the middle at this point. Because they're all, I think that everyone's just has their ideological reasons.
Yeah, we're all human, and like what's causing this war is like the wanting to be right or wrong instead of
totally
interacting with each other like human beings and try to come up with like a middle ground at least. And so all of this tension is causing violence when that doesn't really need to be the case. But it's kind of human reaction based on, I think, our belief systems. Like, it's easier to feel like you're right or wrong than it is to come to a middle ground and maybe sacrifice your ego and for the greater good. Unfortunately.
Have you seen any of those interviews Matthew McConaughey has done lately?
No, I have.
Do you know Matthew McConaughey? Do you know who he is?
I know who he is.
So there's a few quote things he said. He was talking about stuff similar to this. He was saying people think that the middle is some kind of wishy-washy, just sitting on the fence.
Yeah.
But he's saying the middle is freedom, because at this point, the left, if you take a highway, right, like a 2-lane highway, and there's yellow paint in the middle, he said the left and the right are so far away from each other now, they're not even on the pavement. They're just not even on the highway anymore. So the middle is free. We're just free here. Everyone could just be free and happy together while all those people are just fucking deranged and work their shit out, get their personal shit worked out.
You don't have to control humanity or take away their rights in order to get what you want. All you have to do is pin people against each other.
Right, and he was talking about how he knows a lot of people on the right because he's from the South. Where it's they say, oh, well, you're just out in the middle because you don't want to take a side, right? You don't want to take a side. And I love this sentiment he was speaking of, which is you actually make it a dare. No, I dare you to meet me in the middle. I make it so you're the coward. If you just stay there, and he called it extreme centrism, actually taking a stance for being in the middle instead of it just being some wishy-washy thing. I think that is, and I'm with you. I don't like politics, but I think we're in a world where politics needs us.
Yeah, we don't need politics. Politics need us, and
politics needs us right now.
We're led to believe that we should go from one extreme to the other. Like there's no, for some reason, there's no middle ground.
Right.
And that doesn't only apply to politics, but I mean, I do that shit just every day in
Yeah,
life.
totally.
Um,
With everything, diet, exercise, breathing,
yeah.
shower, hygiene,
Yeah.
whatever it is, cleaning, keeping organization. All
Oh
of it.
yeah. It's people there, there's like, oh, it's only black and white. There's no gray. Which I think is the most ignorant shit I've ever heard in my life.
No, it's like a trick. It's that old trick. You're either with us or you're against us. Is what that.
Yeah.
And that's such a silly. I mean, that's some playground shit. Like I feel like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just in the wrong world, but that doesn't make sense to me. That's not my thought process.
I mean, no, it doesn't make sense to me either, and I don't agree with it. But that's just the way things are because.
Mine was what I said earlier. If you don't like me, then don't be my friend. It's that simple.
Yeah. I mean,
it's way better than you're either with us. It's not, because my stance is not you're either with me or against me. It's just if you don't like me, go away.
Yeah. Then why are you still here?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you really enjoy not like being comfortable or happy?
I'm literally asking for nothing from you.
Yeah.
So there's no, because I always view things on that relationship. Like, is there a reciprocal relationship, or is it parasitic, or is it, what? Is someone just taking and not giving? So like I was saying, I was really hard on myself about that. Just like looking back on my early years.
Yeah.
I've always tried to improve on that aspect of myself. One thing is actually giving gratitude. So thank you so much for being on my show. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. I'm not trying to kick you off. I'm just trying to let you know how much how pleased I am to have you here.
I am so glad I did this. I mean, a part of me was really hesitant because I've never done anything like this, and so I was nervous. I didn't really know fully what to expect. And breaking out of your comfort zone, that shit's scary. And I have a tendency among so do other people to like build shit up in my head,
Sure.
And so I mean I still kept to it because A, I don't want to be flaky. I've had an issue with that in the past, and B, I'm like, I know this will be good for me. But yeah, it really has been a pleasure to be on here. I definitely hope this isn't the last time that I'm on here, or even that we talk. I'd love to get to know you one-on-one for sure, because I really enjoy the way that you think, and just in terms of being like-minded, it's I think really hard to find somebody, at least on my level of things.
Sure.
In terms of spirituality or open-mindedness, or just, what is beyond the surface level.
Right.
That's, oh my God.
I faced myself with a simple question many years ago, because I knew that I was different from everyone around me.
Same.
And I said to myself, why is it that I don't hate people? Because everyone else around me hates somebody.
Yeah.
So I tried to figure it out over years and years, just thinking about it. What is it about? Why is it that I just don't hate people? And it's this sort of core belief system, I guess, that I have is the best answer that I can give you. It's just this core belief system that's really up to me to orient myself towards reality in such a way that I'm gonna thrive in it. It's not up to someone else, or
It's not.
I don't know. Kind of an interesting segue there, but that was it. Why do I not hate? That was always it was actually bewildering to me. I was like, what? Why is it? I actually thought it was something wrong with me. You know what I mean? It's like, do I have a psychological problem where I just don't hate people or something?
That's That's to me where the name Batshitsane comes from, because I feel like my ideas are very like level-headed and sane, but they're deeper. They're like or just more out there, and so to like just society's norms, it seems crazy.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's why I enjoyed your content from the get-go.
Hell yeah. And I wish I had more content like this on just my own stream. But
Well, now you have some upgraded gear.
I
You'll start to learn. You're using Streamlabs?
No, not yet.
Regular OBS? What do you got?
No,
You gotta
I'm
get one of
using
those.
Twitch Studio Beta.
Okay, then get one of the softwares. I still using Streamlabs because I can see it really well.
I've heard a lot of good things about Streamlabs OBS. I tried using it. I was very confused, and just me being the.
Well, if you need any help, I can help you work it out.
Thank you. Yeah, I will most likely take you up on that offer. I'm sure it'll definitely up my stream game as well. You're just whatever, but
Everybody go follow Batshitsane. I know I should have said that like 20 more times than I did, but I did say it a couple times. You've been such an awesome guest. I think every one of my success is in that I've had a really good time on every one of my what Weird Wednesday interviews.
Hell yeah.
They've all been so fun.
It seems like you have very good taste in picking people to.
It's all fate. It's just. I mean, I reach out a bit. Obviously, I reached out to you, but
yeah, give yourself a little bit more credit than that. I mean, fate, yeah, definitely.
It was hard to find you. I had to go on one night. I don't even know how. It was luck. It was fate that made me find you on Twitch. One night. I was like, let's see if I can find someone out there. So it's really cool that we came together like this, because that's the next gen. I think this is the next gen Twitch right here. Like,
oh yeah.
Let's just take this, because the way I view it is, look, a lot of people have had some success, and there's some communities, but hey, they weren't ready for me. They weren't ready for you. They don't know what's coming. And
nope.
Just because they don't know about us yet doesn't mean it's not going to be next month.
Hey.
So let's go.
There you go.
Keep it positive. When you when you're striving for no specific thing, then everything is a blessing. That's the way I see it.
And I feel like I feel lucky. I really do feel lucky that you hit me up, and I've been.
Well, I appreciate
kind
that.
of. Yeah, I've been hoping for this kind of like these kinds of interactions. I've been craving them, and I haven't been doing the work like seeking them out, and for once it came to me, and I feel very like thankful, and yeah, I'm really happy that I did this. And I'm not, and I'm really thankful that you're understanding, because it did take me like a second to like get my shit together.
No, that didn't bother me, but I already explained that.
Yeah,
I'm very understanding. Or patient.
Fuck yeah. Me too. But it's hard to come by that, and lately I've been setting a higher standard for the people that I let into my life, and associate with. So yeah, but I do have to gotta do my thing now.
Okay, it's been a pleasure having you, Batshitsane. Absolutely insane in the membrane.
Likewise,
it's
dude.
It's been a pleasure having you.
Oh my god, this is it means so much to me, honestly. It really does. Just this whole fucking experience. I'm
Oh,
fucked.
there'll be more
Thank
soon.
you.
There'll be more soon. We'll start to set up actually something, maybe a debate show or some kind of
Ooh.
something of a round table, like The View.
Yeah.
But maybe like call it The Views, because there will be actually more than one view.
Right? I like the way you think.
It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much.
Likewise.
Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you soon.
You too.
Yes.
Later, Tater.
GN. GG's. Ladies and gentlemen, Aslandy's gotta take a whiz bang. You know it. Been holding it in for a while now. Kaipo, what do you